Cool. You can start whenever you want.
All right, give me like 2 seconds. This episode of Introverted Intuition is sponsored by BetterHelp. Is there something interfering with your happiness, preventing you from your goals? You guys know, out of everyone on this show, me, the petty podcaster, I go through so much and I'm openly expressive with my battle with depression. So what I did was go online and looked up a few services, and the one I came across was BetterHelp. I decided to take my life in my own hands and decided to transition into a healthier space. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with a licensed therapist in under 24 hours. You can begin your first session. Personally, I didn't want another bill, so I was fearful of investing in this, but BetterHelp is more affordable than traditional online services. And also, shit, fuck. I gotta start over. Yo, Johnny, can I start over?
Yeah, you go for it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yo, everyone, it's me, Petty Podcaster. I'm just here to let you know this episode of Introverted Intuition is sponsored by BetterHelp. Is there something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from your goals? You guys know, out of everyone on the show, I am openly expressive with my battle with depression and me feeling like I can't accomplish my stuff. So I decided to take my life into my own hands, and I went online, did the research, and discovered BetterHelp. BetterHelp. And honestly, like, BetterHelp is super affordable. When you go and sign up, they will assess your needs and match you with a licensed therapist. In under 24 hours, you can begin your first session. Personally, I didn't want another bill, so I was fearful of investing into this, but BetterHelp is more affordable than traditional online counseling. Also, they provide financial aid. This service is available worldwide, so our listeners across the seas can also get the help they need and send in messages at any time of the day. So please visit BetterHelp, that's better, HELP.com/introvert. Again, that's better, HELP, help /introvert, and use the code introvert to get 10% off your first month. Again, one more time, that's BetterHelp, better, BETTR, HELP.com /introvert, and use the code introvert at checkout to get 10% off your first month. Thank you, BetterHelp.
I just got in trouble for letting you record early, so
Oh, you did?
yeah, so you can't come. I just can't do that again.
Okay.
I didn't even realize what time it was.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't think anyone would be here, so.
But there you go.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
no pun intended. Because I went to the bathroom at Penn Station, there was no toilet paper.
Oh.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
So not fun. Jack wants to pee.
I don't have to.
It's always in the corner.
Yeah, I did. I
I'm
peed when I played.
freezing. I'm gonna get my jacket on. How about that?
It is hot.
Put an extra
A
jacket
little
just in
net.
case.
It's a little net in here.
Want my hoodie?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I have a hoodie.
I was just trying to be nice. Dang.
Remember, I got all the body heat.
Oh, that wouldn't hurt. I'm just cold.
I hope he brings his cups. That's the only thing.
I told you it's a security blanket. Even when I worked in the city, I would just bring my backpack with nothing in it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because I don't carry like purses, so I just feel weird like walking around with nothing in my hands when Talladega nights. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Put your phone on airplane mode.
Well, it doesn't vibrate or ring anyway, so.
Oh, it's off? Or it's dead?
No, like I'm antisocial as a person. It doesn't vibrate or ring. So
It's for the frequency though, for the microphones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you get it? Ask Jeff if he has a charger. No. We need you to have a phone. You put on the southern accent, perfect.
I mean, I used to do that all the time. I'd be like, especially when I got pulled over, I'd be like, I'm so sorry. I don't know where I'm going.
No.
I'm not even kidding.
That's how she really speaks too.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
You told me that.
It's more mild. It's more mild, Riley.
She's putting it on extra thick.
Yeah, it used to be
Whatever
really
you
big.
say,
But
darling.
you know what?
You go ahead, come back, sugar.
You know what?
See you in a few.
Oh wow, just Latasha?
She's looking for an iPhone charger.
Oh, I have one.
I told her you would, and she's like over there.
I gotta use it.
Oh my God! So you don't have one of those?
I do.
You need to get cups, you selfish bastard.
I thought you would have. You asked me if I had the wine.
See?
You asked me
You
if I had.
see?
Do I have my charger? Oh shit. Yeah, just Latasha. She's dope. How are you, Hoover?
I'm well, how are you?
I don't know. I really don't know.
What was I looking for? Oh, no, I have tea though. No wine for me.
I only got one bottle.
Four.
That's fine. It's better than nothing.
I almost didn't get it, but I got it. Do the honors, sir.
Oh, why? Thank you.
It's the same one I had last week. I don't know if you like it. If you liked it.
I don't mind. I mean, wine's fine, and it's nice and chilled.
It is chilled, actually. Did you find one? Because I had one.
Yay!
Oh, yes.
I told
So
you.
Tea and King.
This is why he's allowed to
But I
record.
told you.
You want to have her come on
I'm
the show?
an informative
You said to
communicator.
you said to
I
ask.
just wanted to see how what
Communicator.
dates
You said to
she would have
ask.
I'm a communicator.
You didn't say that he had one for sure.
Oh my God,
Video open tomorrow. Okay, so I'm gonna talk to her tomorrow.
Two of the,
Get an idea.
what's her name?
And then I'll send you her stuff.
Shanae. She I don't think she could do it at night. So I was gonna ask if you guys,
This contraption.
if you wanted her, we would have to do it like on a Saturday afternoon or some shit. Or, yeah.
You want her? Jeff,
Yes.
tell me what.
When?
There you go, sir.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
She answered my email. She
Oh,
answered my
already?
email.
So professional.
Who? Who?
Tea and King. Remember I told you I was hoping she would come on the show. She has that book.
Oh yeah. Are you going to Tori's comedy show? I'm gonna buy my
It's
ticket.
daughter's birthday, actually.
Tori, the guest that we had.
Oh, the
That
redhead.
was on.
Yeah, the
I
redhead.
remember.
I get it from my mama. That show is so funny. Her show with her mom is so funny.
Tell me why that's like our second most played episode, but our most played is the one where I'm fucking crying. I'm like,
Really?
yeah.
Number
That's
one.
good.
Yeah.
Means we will relate to it.
It's fucking weird.
It's not weird.
It's weird.
It means that you're touching people's hearts.
Yeah. Wasn't my intention.
Well, that's how it
happens sometimes.
Not in that moment. I was just trying to cry. And y'all listened. Oh, sorry, Johnny. We're just doing our own thing.
I'm just listening.
How do I sound? Do I sound better?
I was watching CR trying to open the bottle for a couple minutes.
Don't laugh at me, Johnny.
Wait, CR, are you gonna do the intro?
Sure, if you want me to, but can I don't know if I could hear myself.
You don't have to even do it with the headphones if you don't want.
His headphones might not be plugged in then, because I can hear him.
He plugged in. Johnny he's on crutches. He can't come in here, so you have to figure it
I
out.
didn't even realize that. You're on crutches, dude?
Yeah.
I was just in there.
What?
Mic check, mic.
Can you hear yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Johnny got into a fight, and I won.
Jeff, you
I'm just
bastard.
saying.
Johnny's such a good guy.
I love me some tea.
Preying on the weak.
Yeah, he's an asshole. Sorry about that, Johnny. It's okay. We'll get him later.
What's that?
Tea makes me happy.
What kind of tea?
Lemon ginger tea.
You still waiting on one more, right?
Well, we could just go.
Okay, let's do a. I got you. Let's go clockwise. CR, let me hear your mic.
Mic check, check. Mic.
What color is yours?
I'm orange.
A little more.
Mic check. Ooh, yes.
Oh, I'm money green today, boy.
All
Which
right.
we're having
And I'm sorry. What was your name?
Danielle.
Danielle. Can you just count to 5 slowly for me?
1, 2,
Use the southern accent.
3, 4.
3,
Bye.
y'all.
You're so annoying.
And last but not least,
Check, check, checkity, check, check.
wonderful. You mind just talking into the yellow one real quick?
Check, check.
All right.
That one sounds nice.
You all ready?
I feel like she's.
Yes.
All right. Let's
Do or
this.
die. You gonna do it or am I gonna do it?
Jeff, you've asked me this 3 times, so now you do it.
Is everybody on
No, I'm just
airplane
making
mode?
sure.
Airplane
Said
mode.
yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Airplane
Make it cool,
mode.
though.
Thank you.
Make it cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Piece of paper.
I really like that notebook.
You have it.
I know. I lost it. But I had it.
Even though it's obvious it's
I'm
gonna.
not gonna
be
do it
everything.
exactly how you do it, but I'm gonna do it.
What episode is this?
108.
No, it's not.
No? That's a good question. I should know this.
112.
No way. Already?
I think. Yeah, 112.
Oh shit.
No,
My finger on a cup. So you drink
Wait,
fancy.
110.
no, it's not. 111 is tomorrow.
Oh shit. Oh. 112.
What?
Great group.
The R&B group?
Yes.
What happened?
And that's what I was thinking of.
112.
It's over now. I didn't know he still works here. What's his name? Raul.
Yeah. We haven't had him in a while.
He just pretty much does the production package shows now.
Oh.
Mm.
That makes sense.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
Born right there.
Ready.
Here we go.
Yo, 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 what's good going on, everybody? Good evening, motherfuckers. It's your man, CR908. I'm here tonight with the lovely crew of Introverted Intuition. We are doing, what, chapter 112? Goddamn.
All right now.
Yes, we're here with some lovely people.
Who's the loveliest?
The loveliest of them all.
We'll save that, the best for last. We'll start by introducing the usuals. Petty Podcaster, please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Jeff, a.k.a. the Petty Podcaster, a.k.a. the Ambitious Introvert, a.k.a. the leader of the Libras. We are Introverted Intuition, and we're here to take you on a sabbatical of sound, a visual voyage on tonight's episode.
Oh, he's on
What did I just
strap
step into?
strap
He's
in,
Swear to
one.
God.
This is the quiet storm.
strap
telling you, I
in,
feel like this is
stay
WBLS right
tuned,
here.
and get ready for a good episode.
All right. Hi,
Lot of
everybody.
soul.
It's Coco, a.k.a. Coco Bear, a.k.a. Coco Puff, a.k.a. the original introvert. Hi.
Hey. And tonight we have a very special guest, somebody who's ready to heal your soul.
We already started, people. Bear with us, please.
Go ahead and tell the people who you are.
So my name is Danielle Lynise. I am a personal trainer working on becoming a functional medicine practitioner and a hunter. So there's that.
Hunter is on your resume.
Yes. It's like down at the bottom, so people don't judge me, but it's on there.
What is a functional medical practitioner for all of us, out here that don't know what the hell that means?
Yeah, the rest of us.
Yeah, so that just means that I try to help people get to the root cause of their symptoms. Like if they're going through different things, like have like health issues or like diabetes, we look at, all right, well, what does that metabolically mean? Like, what does that mean about your body?
Have you always been this selfless? Like, where did this interest start?
So it started a couple years ago, actually, when I moved up here. So I moved up here in 2016.
Let people know where you came from. The dirt side.
I was born and raised in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Very nice. All right.
The dirt.
So yeah, and I moved up here, and shortly after, I had like some health problems. So I had a 7-centimeter fibroid tumor, and my dad actually around the same time had hyperthyroidism, and with him, they were gonna cut out his thyroid and put him on a hormone supplement for the rest of his life. And I was 25, and my doctor was like, okay, this tumor is 7 centimeters, so we're going to have to give you a hysterectomy. And yeah.
At 25 years old.
At 25.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. And I've always like wanted to be married and have kids. So I'm like, no. So I started looking up like how to help my dad and then how to help myself. And that's what led me to like the personal training. Within a couple of months, I actually helped my dad reverse his type 2 diabetes, which was causing the hyperthyroidism, and I completely shrunk my tumor.
That's
yeah.
remarkable.
That's a miracle.
That's
Yeah.
really remarkable.
Yeah. So, so that really got me on the path there, and it's just, especially being in the South, like there's a lot of illness because, you know, we don't eat very well. We don't eat the best. We don't nourish our bodies. So that runs very heavily in my family. And that's just what.
That soul
going-
food.
Yeah. Yeah. That's slave food. What
That's
you
slave
mean?
food. Them
Cornbread.
chitlins,
Yeah.
them ribs.
I've never eaten chitlins in my life.
I
That
never
will
had
never
them
change.
either.
They're disgusting. They smell
I
disgusting.
heard
What
that.
is it? I never even
They're
knew.
guts. They're
They're
pig guts.
pig intestines. So you have to like wash them enough to get like the feces out of the intestines.
There's
Yeah.
still fecal
That's why I don't
matter?
fuck with
Yeah.
pork.
Mhm.
Last
Yeah.
time I ate a
Jesus.
pork rib, I got a headache.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I was like, no, I can't.
Pork is so bad for you.
Did you know pork can cause impotence?
What?
Really?
Yes, it
Of
can.
course you would know that.
I gotta protect, you know,
You gotta
the most
protect the
valuable
goods.
asset.
The Porky
Magic stick.
podcaster?
Oh my God.
Well, just trying to save the magic stick.
Protected at all costs.
Yes, by all means necessary.
Well, when did you start personal training?
2 years ago, so 2017.
Now, can you talk to us about the beginning stages of personal training? Because I feel like that requires a lot of patience. Something I don't have. I don't think I could personal train anybody. I've gotten asked too. People have literally asked me.
Yeah. It's more like nobody knows what they're doing at the end of the day. It's like you test and you're fine and you find like your personal thing. Like for me, if people are coming to me and they're like, oh, I want to lose weight, I'm not really interested in those people. Like those people are boring to me. Like no offense to anybody that wants to lose weight, but it's like that's not my specialty.
Yes,
you
looking
curved
right at
CR?
me, huh?
You curved him?
Right, looking right at me. Right? You saw that shit right at people who are trying to lose weight. I don't work with them.
You just
Let her explain.
anyways, like for me, I know like that's how I started out, and I was scared. Oh my God, my first client, I felt so bad for him. It was he's Chinese, and he's like a couple years older than me, but he was like, oh, I want to build muscle, and I was like, okay.
Good luck.
So I was like, well, I know like how to do that, like the science behind it, but when it came to training him, I had no clue what I was doing. So his second session, I actually made him throw up.
I remember you told me that story.
So he was like, we were like working, and I was like, well, he's a guy, so I gotta push him harder because he's not a girl, and I gotta make sure like he's getting whatever gains I thought he was gonna get from making him throw up. I don't know, but it's just like learning what you're good at and learning what people are gonna want from you. Like my friends that train, it's like, oh, I want to look like her or I want to look like him, and you just learn like what's your niche.
What works, because like I guess it's like particular to each individual, right? Because of genetics and because of so many different variables, lifestyle, work, career, like your daily routine. So do you take all that into consideration when you're coming up with a program for one of your clients?
Yeah, definitely, because my background is corrective exercise. So it's like if you sit a lot, if you're like an accountant, your hips are probably going to be tight because your hips are flexed all day. So I'm going to take a look at that, and then I'm also going to evaluate like your hormones because I specialize in hormones. Like that's what I know. So I add all of those things when I'm like doing an evaluation with somebody to say, okay, well, first we need to attack your hormones because that's going to help you lose the weight that you want to lose or gain the weight that you want to gain because it works both ways. And then we sit down and write up, all right, well, this is what you need to eat. Like, this is how many calories your body needs. Because that's basically like weight loss and weight gain just boils down to eating less or more than what your body burns every day. So if you want to gain muscle, you need to eat more than what your body burns every day so you can add on that weight. If you want to lose weight, you do the opposite.
Right.
And like what you apply into your programs, is it that things that you learned through your journey of working out, or did you actually just do research online? Because I feel like there are personal trainers who don't work out at all, but they are knowledgeable enough to teach other people.
Yeah, I'm like a little bit of both. So a lot of the things that I know is because like the problems that I ran into myself, or like things that I had to learn for other people. Like there was this one client that I had, somebody else gave them to me, and I cried because I didn't know how to handle it. He was a stroke victim. He had a stroke like 3 years ago now, and he'd been going to physical therapy for like 2 years, and he had no mobility in his right arm or his right leg. So he was walking with a brace, and he couldn't raise his arm like parallel or anything like that. And I was like, I don't know what to do with this man. Like, I don't want to hurt him. But then I started reading about it, and I looked at like different studies of like how doctors handle it or physical therapists have handled it and how they've been successful. And within 6 months, him and his wife came to me, and they were like, we got further with you in personal training than we did with physical therapy in 2 years. So it's because it's individualized, and I looked at it for that person that I was able to help him as much as I did versus like taking like an umbrella approach.
That's crazy.
How much stock do you like put into like your clients? Do you like actually genuinely get to know them, or is it just like, all right, let's go do this, go do this, go do this, go in the sauna, go home? Like, do you actually like have conversation with them and coach them through it, or what's
That's part of the personalization. I think it has to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's called personal training.
Shout out to some of the trainers I've had.
Yeah, because like seriously though, especially with because I work for 24-hour fitness. And
Shout out to
24
them.
hour, yes.
no,
Take it back.
We getting a,
Sorry.
we getting a
I love that
sponsor?
shit.
it's a scam. I'm just playing.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. I've been working there for like 2 years. So when you look at like the pricing of the packages, and you're like, all right, I'm asking someone to spend $2,000 to train with me. What would I expect from somebody if I were spending that same amount of money? Like, first of all, I wouldn't be spending that. I'm cheap. So I would be like, no. But I want to give that amount of value to each and every one of my clients. Like, I genuinely care about helping people. Like, that's just who I am.
I respect that.
I wouldn't want abs the next day if I'm paying $2,000.
$2,000.
Instant abs.
I better be able to play LeBron James in a one-on-one, bruh.
Fam, as soon as the $2,000 clears, I want the abs to disappear. Like,
I better be dunking.
yeah, word.
I got you.
Wait, why'd you shout out 24-hour fitness? Do you go to?
No, because we always apparently wind up shouting out 24-hour fitness.
'Cause I
and I
talk
almost
about it a
joined them,
lot.
but they wound up closing the location nearest me. So
And I talk about 24-hour fitness a lot because
Yeah.
of the facility, but I do agree that those packages are fucking crazy. And I don't know why. I don't know if they do this, if they train you guys to be kind of super aggressive to get people to sign up. But like,
It's the commission.
oh yeah, I'm
It's
pretty
the
sure because
commission.
like, yo,
Because that commission,
when I first
commission checks be
yeah,
lit.
I bet
Yeah,
because
right.
when I first got there, like I did sign up with Alton, and they just
Yeah.
and then he tried to get me to get another one. I'm like, oh, bro, I don't know.
Yeah. It's because it's a big box gym, so it's a chain, and then they're run out of California. So they base all of the country's pricing on California.
Jesus, that's why.
That's where, so that's where they mess up, especially in Jersey, because like they don't understand that California, people in California, all they care about is their health.
Yeah, literally.
Like it's literally, it's not, oh, do you go to a gym? It's which gym do you go to?
Right, it's-
Versus
yeah.
here, it's like, nah, I might go to a gym. I might go to Planet Fitness or Crunch.
That's a fact because when I went to California in June, I noticed that people out there generally were in better shape. Like everybody was like in shape or thin or
they're more health conscious.
Because it's
Yeah,
always
right.
nice outside. You want to show
Exactly.
that body off.
Exactly.
yeah,
And
that makes
here,
a lot
like,
of sense.
Shit, you want to wear a hoodie sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
once that winter comes, people turn into bears. They
Bruh.
go in the
Right.
house, they
You get
gain
to
50
cuddle.
pounds.
Yeah.
I feel attacked right now. I feel attacked. I didn't work out in like 2 days. I'm feeling
I was like,
guilty.
I haven't worked out in like
As
2
he
months.
flexes his
fine.
arms.
Who's watching?
Flex.
Who's watching?
Jeff with the flex. Yo.
Here we go.
Damn. So 2 years personal training.
Mm-hmm.
How did you meet CR? Just in the gym?
He stalked my life at the gym. He harassed me, and asked me for my number, and I was like,
people.
no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm pretty sure I talked to you first.
Yes, because it was
I
your
worked
job.
there.
Yeah.
He was doing
But-
some shit wrong.
No. 'cause
She was like mad.
I was front desk.
Yeah, she was at the
I
front
was front desk first.
And she was mad friendly. And I was
Yeah.
just like, because everybody else was like, hey, how you doing? And she was like, hey, how are you? And I was
That's just me as a person. Like,
that's just you as a
And you should
person.
have realized she's not a native tri-state area.
But
She's
didn't
from
I say that
down
when
south,
we
and they're more
finally
friendly.
sat down and talked? I was like, where are you from? You're not
You're
from
not from here.
Jersey.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
not
yeah.
from out here.
Yeah.
Because you're mad nice. Like,
Yeah.
yo, you're pleasant. I said that. I was like,
Mad
yo, you're
nice.
pleasant as hell.
But you know what's crazy? Ever since I moved up here, everybody says that. They're like, you're not from here.
You're
Where
not.
are you from?
You're
too
mad
nice.
pleasant and it's genuine. You're not being nice because you're like trying to get $20 from me.
Right.
And you know what the flip side is? She could kill anyone who tries her because she's a hunter as well.
Right.
So it's just like,
Professional.
yeah.
She has a
from two
deadly
sides.
weapon in her vehicle.
Why?
Wait.
Now I'm going to get pulled over.
Nobody
Like,
knows what you drive.
You're right.
I got you, girl.
You're right. You're right.
Now I want to know what the vehicle is. Not the vehicle, the weapon, but
Oh, it's my bow.
you just carry it on demand. Like,
Well,
See,
I
Sniping
hunt
it.
on demand, so I'm like, oh, it's a nice day. Like, I'll go hunting, and I don't want to take my boat out of the car and bring it in the house and then have to put it back in.
Might as well leave it in there.
I want to slowly
Yeah.
transition
So-
into the hunting. Go ahead.
Where, well, I was going to ask,
Oh,
where
good.
do you go hunting?
There are a couple of places. So, like, the government has what's called public land, and it belongs to the people. Like, our taxes pay for it, and it's hundreds and hundreds of acres of just wilderness, whether that's like preserved land or land to hunt, hiking trails. Like, all of that's on public land. If you're on a hiking trail, you could go off the hiking trail probably and go sit in a tree and hunt. So a lot of the time I'll go to Black River. So that's over near Chester. But I'll go to like Sussex County. There are some places south. South is more for, like for turkeys. But like for deer, it's like more like in the mountains or like closer to PA. There's a lot of land to hunt in New Jersey.
Did you start when you were younger? Like, did you like chase chickens around or squirrels? I don't know. Like,
So to answer your question, no, but funny story. Because I grew up in the country, like I grew up on the backside of a farm. So my very first field trip in school, it was like first grade. We went across the street from the school to one of the kids' farms, and we got to like milk goats and stuff. It was extra country. But no, I started hunting when I moved up here.
oh wow.
Really?
Ironically enough.
Yeah, because nobody in my family hunted, and with the health issues, I started looking at the food I was eating, and I was trying to go like more organic, and that's the most organic meat that you can get. And it was something I was always interested in, but I just never knew how to get into it.
You still got to make me something so I could try it.
Yeah, I just still got to kill a deer first. Like
We can kill it together.
Okay.
What is
That deer's gonna kill you. Man. That deer's gonna fuck you up. Yo.
I want to shoot a bow and arrow, yo. I think I
I
can do
told
it.
you,
I
I
have
got
strong
you.
arms.
I did it- I
got
did
strong
it.
That would
arms.
be a great team building
Yeah.
exercise if
Yeah.
you went.
It's
We
really,
should do
We
that.
it's
need a
really
team
fun.
builder.
shooting
actually.
arrows.
And it's
should do
really
that.
growing like across the country, especially with like Hunger Games. Like
Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I shot a bow before, and it was really hard to like I guess line up the shot and actually hit
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
But the stance and stuff, how to hold it was pretty easy for me.
Yeah. It's crazy because like a lot of Korean people do it, especially in Jersey. It's like very because like in Korean culture they teach their kids to be like independent.
Yeah.
So when you do archery, it teaches you patience and you have to be very consistent, very slow with your movements. So like a lot of them do it.
Oh, I'd be
over
good
I
there.
want to
archery.
try that. Yeah, I feel like
I'd
I
be
could be
good.
nice.
Yeah.
What
I
was-
got you.
What was the feeling when you first killed something? Was it like, did you feel powerful? Did you feel like guilty?
Did you ever feel guilty?
I hate you. I cried because it was like a whole journey. So I couldn't find, my thing was like, I couldn't find anybody to help me hunt. Like I didn't know, like, how do you get into hunting, Jeff?
Right.
Like, it's like, I don't know. Like, where do I go? Where do I start? Like because it's very heavily regulated, and you have to be licensed. And you really want to have somebody take you hunting first, but I couldn't find anybody to take me hunting because it's like, all right, I'm gonna trust a stranger with a gun or a bow in the woods, and I'm a female. Like that's not.
Not safe.
Yeah,
It's not safe.
So over time, I ended up finding 2 mentors, and what happened? They took me on one hunt for a deer. And I shot a doe, but I didn't hit her in like the vitals. So I shot her and I wounded her. So I felt like crap, and I was like, "Well, damn! Like I got this wounded deer." Like, and you start to really look at life differently. Like you are taking a life, and it was just like really surreal. I was like, "Damn! Like this little doe is like walking around in the woods and she's like gimping because of me. And I felt awful. Like I cried. And then afterwards, like a couple weeks, my mentor was like, it's okay. Like I'm going to take you out again to this other spot. And it was crazy because we were hunting for more does because I was like, I'm going to get my redemption. And then this buck, like a male, walked out and she was like, I was like, can I shoot it? And it had like beautiful antlers. It's a beautiful deer. And I shot it and I killed it. And we literally ran through the woods to get this deer. And I just fell on my knees and I just cried. Because it's like this animal, it didn't give its life. It had no choice in the matter. But I took its life so that I could eat and so that I would have sustenance and that my body could thrive from it. Yeah. So it's just really surreal. Like, it's an amazing feeling.
It makes you more appreciative of the nourishment that you get from the food you eat.
Yeah, because you know where it comes from. Right. Like, when you go to the grocery store, like,
you don't see the process, so you're kind of,
don't care.
Yeah, you're desensitized to it.
Exactly.
I heard Joe Rogan say a similar thing. He hunts like a lot of elk and shit like that.
Yeah, I love Joe Rogan.
He feels safer eating that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes sense because it's not processed. It's, like you said, it's just the most organic you can do.
Yeah, there's so many things, especially like there are things that are allowed to be in our food. Like when you get your food from the grocery store, it's been sitting for at least 6 weeks. They have to color it. They put chemicals in it to color it to make it look more appetizing to you. Like it's crazy what they allow to be done to the things that we put in our body.
It's all about the money.
Yeah, of course.
Why everybody's paid off.
Mm-hmm.
As you may have noticed, Lynise walked in, our resident banana pudding expert. The banana pudding expert. Just to catch you up, CR is a stalker. She's a murderer.
No, I was already on her. I already checked your Instagram page the other day when I got the notice that she was going to be here. And I was just telling my friend, I was like, so there's a black girl who actually hunts.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be interesting. And I cannot wait to do this show today. So walking in on the part I walked in was kind of great. So.
You've talked about this a lot too, like hunting.
I have said that we're gonna have to start learning how to hunt and gather again. The way the world is working is just like all these movies. Like it may not be a zombie apocalypse, but it's gonna be something really big and disastrous where we are going to be back at square one.
Right.
And it's just like I hope people know how to run. Shout out to at the Hood Healer. If you follow her on Instagram, she's the one who supplies me with all this information because she is so insightful. But yeah, we're gonna really have to learn what you're doing. So shout out to you. And furthermore, I'm a fan of moderation of everything. I do believe that you should continue to eat meat. I do not believe this whole vegan craze because it's just like you're going to sit here and tell me you care about not killing things, but aren't plants, like when I was in science, anything that breathes is living. Right. Plants breathe. So actually you're still killing something. Right. So let's take it back to the beginning of days and you kill to like she said, to sustain, to survive. And it's just like, if you won't kill it, don't eat it. And I'm going to fuck up a chicken, a pig, a cow, and I'm going to chop off a whole lot of oxtails, okay? You can keep the whole ox, but I just want the tail.
Just the tail, baby.
This nigga, you hungry as hell.
Just the tail, baby.
Because you understand.
Yeah.
Like, I'll take that tail, motherfucker.
Make some
and
gravy.
pigtails, too, like. Yeah, I'm just going to eat the whole pig. I'm going to save one for a pet, but I'm eating one of them motherfuckers.
I ain't no more pigs, man.
No pork on my food.
We was just talking about that.
I got a headache the last time I ate a pork rib. Immediately.
Yeah.
And I was saying
that's because you don't eat it. So once you take pork out which is people always say why you shouldn't eat it, because once you take pork out the equation, that's the one thing you get sick from when you start eating it again. But I eat it like maybe once a month, so that way that doesn't happen to me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I have bacon sometimes. Like at least once in a month. Like I don't eat it on a regular. I'm really not. I'm not
But
lying.
you were so confident when you're like, oh, I don't eat pork.
No.
Yeah, you don't have to defend yourself. It's okay.
When did I say that?
A few minutes ago.
When
You
I
were very
yelled-
adamant, actually.
Really?
Yeah, no
It's
pork,
That pork
no
gets
pork
into
for
your
me.
brain, bro.
No.
Pork
Oh
is
my
good for
God.
me.
I'm deteriorating. The fucking swine.
I need to season my collard greens. I need pork for everything. Like pork is
I could do it in small doses. Like I like bacon, okay? All right,
That
with the
crisp,
eggs.
the
And that's
crispy.
nothing wrong with that. Like,
So every once in a
There's
while.
no judgment
But I know
here.
not to eat it
Judgment-free
every
zone.
day or every week. I don't do that.
Yeah,
Like,
smoked meats, because smoked meats in general are not like healthy,
I don't even eat cold
What
cuts
is
anymore.
really healthy nowadays?
That's true.
Milk ain't even good for you.
Milk is never, dairy is never good for you.
I
It's like an
haven't had
inflammatory.
milk in forever.
What
I drink almond
What was
milk.
the
trying to get
craziest
off
thing I
dairy
heard?
now.
That
Vanilla.
I love whole milk. I just can't get
Vanilla
on this
Haagen-Dazs.
bandwagon. Like, give me whole milk. Don't give me 2% milk, 1%. I need whole milk in my
need the
frosting.
I need all that fat.
Almond milk. Give me that
Give
almond
me
milk.
that fat.
My sister tried to get me on that alternative milk, is what I'm going to call it. milk.
Well, I'm trying to get us a new sponsor.
So I should say
The
no
almond
dairy.
breeze.
Woo, that's my
I can't
shit,
drink
baby.
that stuff.
Yeah.
That's my
Shout out
shit,
to us.
baby.
Hey.
I can't
Holla
drink
at
that.
me.
I love almond milk.
You word. What requires more patience? Training someone who's not familiar with working out, or waiting for your mark for you to kill it?
Definitely waiting for my mark. Because I get bored easily. So, like, after the first couple months of, like, oh, I helped you lose weight, or, oh, I helped you gain muscle, I'm like, all right, what's the next challenge? Because that's just me as a person. I'm like, all right, what's next? So, waiting for that.
So, like, your first client that you mentioned earlier, he could just keep doing the dumbbell curls the wrong way, and you'd be okay with that?
Yeah, because I'm like, all right, like, I'll correct it. And it's okay if you're willing to listen, but if you're like, oh, I don't, because I have one client, I stopped training her because she wanted to lose 80 pounds in a year. And I'm like, that's completely possible, but you have to listen to what I say. And she didn't want to cut the carbs out. And I'm like,
she wasn't trying to put the bread down.
But what was her
Yeah.
rationale? Like she just can't cut them out?
it was her
or-
culture. She was in Indian.
Oh,
So
so
she
she don't
was-
eat meat, so it's just like
Yeah.
They eat
what
meat.
else?
So
Well-
she was a vegetarian because of like the religious reasons, but like
He's trying to stop
she,
those spices.
yeah, well she was like,
So she
oh
should have just switched the white rice for some cauliflower and called it a day. Just season the fuck out that shit.
yeah, but she was like, oh, I want to eat like roti, but she made it herself, so she didn't know how many calories were in it, and then it's like, oh, you're eating 1 to 2 pieces. And I
You're
told
not gonna
her,
take up my bus up shot, right?
but like it was like even when she tried it for like a week, she lost like 8 pounds, but then she was like, I can't do it, and then went right back to it, and then in 6 months she lost no weight.
Because she's used to eat. It's hard to.
Yeah.
It's hard to.
But
stop
then,
doing
what result did she expect if she wasn't willing to give that
yeah,
up?
you-
Like, there's
Right.
something that you have to give up in order to get that
No
benefit
success
or that
without
result that you're looking
sacrifice.
for.
Right.
Yes.
Oh my God,
Because
is
people
that
try
the
to
theme for
like
today?
outwork a
What?
bad diet, and it's like with me.
Say that again.
What?
No, something he said. No success with. What you
Oh.
said?
I said no success without sacrifice.
Yeah, that is my theme
Mic
for
drop.
today.
You
It's
said
the
trying to
truth.
outwork a bad diet, not
Yeah,
yeah.
Because it's like because my guilty pleasure is cupcakes. Like I love
Now
cupcakes.
I know.
I thought I told you this, but it's
You got
fine.
I saw a whole plan unfolding there. Like,
Yeah.
in his,
Because
like, all
I
right,
thought
now
she was
know,
flawless. I asked her if you could have one snack, right, that you can eat and never gain weight.
No,
right?
that wasn't the question.
That was the question.
No, the
That
question was
what?
what is your favorite food? And I was like, my favorite food, like I could eat it every day.
Yeah, and have no bad effects. That's
and
what
I
I
said a Snickers, so that's just as bad as a
no.
cupcake.
You didn't say Snickers first. You said bell peppers.
Oh yeah, because bell peppers.
Bell peppers.
I'm the weirdo that gets like
I
the
respect
mini
that.
peppers.
I respect
and
it,
I
but
eat
it's
them
like
chips.
Bell peppers.
They're so good. They're good for you.
What is it? What is it like so confusing to you? Is it the fact that she's eating them like just raw?
What's confusing is that I basically said if you could eat one thing, anything, out of,
gotcha.
and not gain weight and just
Yeah.
do what you want, and she chose bell peppers, and it was
You
just
gain
funny.
weight from bell peppers.
That's what I was just thinking.
Well, think of like a panda bear. Like a panda bear eats grass, but it doesn't exercise or anything. It's fluffy. But you look at like a gorilla.
I just thought maybe they were stocked like that. So let's just kill them if there's no such thing as you're just built like your bones is big or something.
No, that's not a thing. Although African descendants or descendants from Africa do have denser bones than like other people. Denser means that like
It's
they're
thicker?
heavier. They're
Yeah.
heavier naturally. But there's no such thing as being big boned.
You got heavy bones.
Because I
bro?
Yeah,
look like
I never
I'm
broke a
slim,
bone.
but when I weigh
Me neither.
myself, I'm actually heavier than people think I am.
That's why. Yeah.
My bones.
Bones are
I never got a sprain or broken anything. Actually, surprisingly, I'm mad clumsy.
I broke both my pinky toes.
Really?
Yes.
How random.
Yes.
Shit's big as wait. What? Wait.
So
Doing
they just
what?
go like that? Like how
Oh no, they're
At the
fine
same
now.
time?
Yeah.
No. Separate
crooked?
separate
Oh, okay.
occasions. No, they're fine now. Well, I don't know if they're fine, but
I actually don't want to know. Actually, I really
don't
don't.
really-
they don't look like LeBron James' feet. So let's just say.
What's wrong with his feet?
Oh, ho, Google it.
Oh, no, I don't want
Athlete's
to tell me
Google
about
it.
it. I don't want to know. What is it?
Google it. It's like
Before
like
you eat,
this.
though.
Really?
Yeah,
His
but-
toes. Look, it looks like he looks like his
He's gone through a
sneakers
lot,
have been completely crushing his toes his entire career. That's what, and it's like you think about it and you're like, damn, no wonder this nigga balls out.
maybe
He's
that's
killing
what gives him
himself.
the extra ass when he played ball.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what happens.
And he's
is-
like 7 feet total. Like what,
he's 6'8".
Yeah.
So what would be his shoe size? 14, 15? When does it
Definitely
stop?
a 14. Like a 14. He has to be like probably like a 14, 13. And his feet look. Ooh.
Are you Googling his feet?
I am.
Okay.
Look it up. There's
Are they worse
I'm
than
shocked.
Shaq?
right on the beach, right?
You
That's
look,
the one they
you
showed
look
you.
first and then
Yeah.
tell me.
Oh
How
my
bad it
God.
is? How bad is
Nah, we
it?
good.
But are they worse
It's
than
not bad.
Shaq's
It's
feet,
terrible.
though?
Or
Who's?
Shaq.
Let me do a
I haven't seen
comparison.
Shaq's feet.
On a
I
scale-
imagine Shaq has some ashy ass feet for some reason.
Word, I feel the same
I feel like
way.
them shit's dry as hell.
He posts his feet.
That's because he was doing
on
those commercials about the
Instagram.
Gold Bond moisturizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all automatically associate the fact that his shit is ashy.
That
Okay?
man-
at
That's
this
just good
point,
advertising. Let's just be
we
real,
just gonna say
right?
I fuck with Kazan, but like, come
Basketball
on.
players have bad feet.
Yes, they do.
I would
It's-
think,
it's
but the
like
way they
Probably all
describe it,
athletes.
he's
It's a
describing
fact.
it like they stick straight up
any
to heaven.
athlete
I don't
has
understand.
bad feet.
Google
Like, we know
Hunter's
ba-
feet.
that's-
I want to see what
that's
a
wrong.
Hunter's foot looks like.
Yes.
Because your shit might be rocking too. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's
I
not
mean, one
bad,
is
It runs in the
pretty bad.
family?
It's like,
She didn't deny it.
Oh, that poor
She didn't
thing.
deny
Oh, I
it.
feel
it's
bad.
like you can tell he was
That
like
one is bad.
scrunching his feet on his
Oh
God.
my God.
That's
I told
that's
you,
LeBron.
bro. Every time I see it,
That
it's that
one
pinky
is bad,
toe.
but the whole
that one
foot.
pinky toe.
Oh, well, the whole foot.
That
That's
one-
tragic.
That one pinky toe look like he
My
can go.
ex feet.
That
They
shit
Show
can
me the other
go. He
foot
don't
now.
even
Now
need that
it's-
pinky
it's a
toe.
wrap now.
That's
It's a wrap
sad.
now. He needs to bind them somehow and just
Feet
That
in
shit
general
look-
just
this point
ugly
on
though.
because
That pinky toe looks like a comma. Pinky toe, the comma.
the pinky toe look like it's trying to land on the foot. Is what it's trying to do. It's trying to come in,
Trying to
for a
make its
gentle
way in.
landing.
That was
Trying to
definitely-
realign itself.
Yeah, also I don't understand
my
foot
God.
fetishes.
Mm-mm.
Because if you sucking that shit that look like that, you got a
Oh
problem.
Lord.
Well, I don't think people with foot fetishes will suck a foot like that.
Yeah, they probably
I
like
think
attractive
there's
feet,
stipulations
yeah.
to the feet fetish.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
probably like really
So,
attractive.
okay,
There
so
are
it's
attractive
soft.
feet out there.
It's not the act of doing it. It's
No, it's what it looks
Probably
like.
the actual foot,
Yeah.
most likely.
Oh,
Like
fuck.
most things in
There
sex.
goes that check I could possibly get for selling feet
You
pics.
trying to be? Oh my God! You trying to be a foot model out here?
Yo, they out here for real.
I could have been a foot model way back when.
I can't with you.
I ain't gonna talk about you.
I dropped a
modeling.
dumbbell on my big toe.
Did y'all see a picture? CR's most recent picture of him modeling. He looked like he was looking off the Titanic. Like
Oh
this.
my God.
I'm like,
Holla.
this nigga.
Holla.
Damn, what are you doing? Like,
Looking like chocolate, nigga. That's what I'm doing.
Love it.
so like on average, like what's like the longest the hunt can longest hunt that you've ever been on has gone? Like how
Like-
many hours?
How long does a session go? Like, we're going hunting. We're gonna be out there for 2-3 hours, or
Well, you can be out like as long as you want. It's more like the regulation. So for deer hunting, you can hunt from like half an hour before sunrise to like a half an hour after sunset, which you have to look at. Like there's a whole table that tells you, all right, what time is sunrise, what time is sunset, stuff like that. Duck hunting is different. It's like just whatever season you're in.
Do you went duck hunting?
I did one time.
Did
I
you
like
cook it
duck.
like the people in the Lower East Side?
I like duck.
Honestly, I don't know how they cook it.
You gotta see it. It looks so delicious in the window.
Oh, you mean in the window? No, I didn't do all that. I skinned it. Like I
Don't we want
cleaned
the
it
skin?
myself.
Oh yeah, you skinned it. Oh, you took all the fur.
Yeah, yeah.
She
Like
said, "Don't you want the skin?" Yo, ladies, raw.
Don't we want the skin? I need that crispy skin. So wait, do you like pluck it feather by feather, or you like take a knife and you cut it
yeah,
out?
you take a knife and you just like run it down the breast, and you can either breast it out or like cook it whole.
Breasts.
Or
Wait, what? So the fur still on the duck?
no, you peel it off. Like
Oh,
you have the
okay.
duck, and then you open it up, you peel the skin back, and you can either just take the breast out, so you don't have to take all
So
the
there's
skin
no
off.
crispy skin.
No, not unless you pluck it, but you don't want to
You
pluck.
gotta pluck
those
it.
Kinda,
Better
but
pluck.
they're like sea ducks, so they taste a little different.
Oh.
I imagine
Gotcha,
that
that's different.
process is more mortifying than actually killing it. in
I
my
will pluck
mind.
the shit out of a chicken, okay?
I had a lot
I
of
don't know.
I had a lot of fun in like chem class where we like dissected the
Fuck out.
frogs. So like
Oh,
it was just kind of
What's a
like
mind
I'm like
crispy duck?
identifying like, all right, that's the liver. Like
I'm too squeamish for that. I'm
Oh.
gonna puke all over the shit before I even
Oh,
cook it. Like
Jesus.
I'm gonna be just freaking out.
Yeah, I don't know if I can handle watching it. My meat being skinned. I don't know.
Until you try.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
You
I
don't
really
have to
don't
know.
know.
I can gut and clean a fish.
Yeah, that's easy. That
That
I'm
shit,
used
but
to.
you know,
just
now I
descale
probably put
it.
gloves on. When I was a kid, I remember like doing it with my father, and my
Mm-hmm.
hands would be stinking. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, facts.
yeah, but now I probably do. I want some fish. Sorry.
Right now you got me thinking.
I had a good ass lobster roll. Just saying.
I thought
I
about
did
that when
see
you
that.
texted that. I was just like,
it was
damn,
good.
this bitch out here
Ooh.
eating good.
Pret a manger.
I had roasted hamburger today.
What is it?
Roasted hamburger, meatloaf.
Oh,
Roasted
some meatloaf.
hamburger.
That's all it is. Just roasted goddamn hamburger with seasoning and shit. You just mold it, call it a meatloaf. Just a
so
burger.
mold it
wait,
into
so
a
how do
loaf.
you make your meatloaf?
My mom made it. Girl, I
Oh,
just
like-
make the sides.
Oh, okay.
Keep it simple.
Word. And
Now I can cook meat, but meatloaf. There's certain things like I don't live at home to cook my own meals,
Oh, okay.
which I do though. But that's not the real purpose. Like I want my mom's meat.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah, like
Of
I
course.
always
Yeah.
crave her cooking.
Yeah.
Of course.
is there something that you want to kill that you haven't yet?
Oh my God, there's a whole list.
Well,
I mean, not
top
like in a bad
5.
way. Top 5.
She's a killer.
Elk. No, it's just different meat tastes different. So like bear tastes like really sweet because they eat berries. Like
Oh,
I just want to
shit.
try. Yeah.
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Bears
So
eat
I love that
berries.
about you. So you're not killing just to kill. You're killing to eat too.
Yeah, that's not like really a thing. That's a really common misconception. People think of like trophy hunting. That's not really a thing.
That's not what you're
That's
doing.
for rich white people who go to Africa and kill extinct animals, right?
No,
That's
because
trophy
even when
hunting.
they go to Africa, what they're doing, they kill the animal, but it's illegal to bring the meat back, so they donate it to the communities, like the African communities, and they'll feed. Because what happens, especially in Africa, for kids in schools, they have a certain amount of protein that's allotted to them for every week. So it's like, okay, each kid gets like 7 grams of protein for the whole week. If they run out, they have nothing left to eat for the whole week.
Are you serious?
So yeah,
And like
so
the average for a person, I believe, is at least 7 grams per day. No?
yeah, and these are children.
Yeah.
So like they'll just like they have to wait until the next shipment of food comes. But when you have people that come in and hunting, yeah, they're paying like 30 grand. They're paying these people's salaries for like the whole year. And when they kill an animal, whether it's a giraffe or whatever, they donate that meat because they can't bring it back. They'll bring back, the head or, whatever they want to mount, but they can't bring the meat back. They don't just throw it away or leave it there. They donate it.
Okay.
At least it's not wasteful. As long as it's not
Yeah.
wasteful.
Is this a case by case thing, or is that like a fact that they have to give it away?
It's a
or, like-
regulation.
Yeah.
It's not a regulation. It's a voluntary thing, but it's not like it's not a thing to leave to like kill an animal and take the head off and leave it.
Hopefully, there's people there watching as it goes down, so they can just take the animal and just get what they need from what they don't take.
Yeah, because a lot of communities like work with people that go and hunt, but especially in Africa, they don't really prioritize like the regulations of animals. So that's why you have so much poaching. And a lot of the time when people go to hunt in Africa, they're like trying to help conserve the animals, because in a hunter's mind, we want to help conserve the animals that we hunt. So like with the bison in America, they almost went extinct because we had market hunting. We didn't have regulations. That's why hunting's so regulated now, because bison were almost extinct. There are ducks that went extinct in like the 1800s, something like that. And that's why like Theodore Roosevelt like put in a whole bunch of different laws, and like we have like all these different laws that we have to follow because we want to maintain the animals that we hunt, essentially.
Can you touch on some things that might be considered taboo within the culture of hunting?
Yeah, like did you see my Instagram post?
I did. That's why I'm asking. But,
Okay.
But the listeners, probably didn't.
So I posted on my Instagram like last week. I went hunting, and I hunt by myself, so I'm very conscious because I am a female, and especially in New Jersey, you can't, like, gun laws are very strict, so I'm limited to what I can take to protect myself with. And I went to my hunting spot, and it's just kind of like common courtesy, like, oh, if somebody's hunting there, like, I'll go find another spot, because it's literally hundreds of acres that you can be on. So I go to my hunting spot, and I see that somebody has basically vandalized it, and now I'm like, well, I don't feel safe being here. And then when I go out to the parking area, they had like killed a buck, like which is a male deer, and they took the antlers off of it and like left the body in the woods. It's something you don't do. So they're like kind of like common courtesies, and it just made me feel really uncomfortable. And I'm like, dang, now I got to find a new spot. So it's like you just try to be courteous, because there are very few hunters out there anyway. It's like less than 6% of the population hunts. So you just try to like be careful, because it is kind of considered like, like a family or like a fraternity or whatever you want to call it.
Do you eventually like want to live where you hunt, like, or live near where you hunt at, or like do you want to like build like your own place, maybe in the woods in a tree somewhere, and like get away from civilization a bit?
I definitely want to have acres. I've always wanted to go out to like Colorado or like out west where there is more land. And I want to have like, ideally I want to have like a little farm. I want alpacas specifically. But yeah,
What is that? I don't know.
it's a llama.
Oh.
That's your spirit animal. I don't know. I just.
I was gonna say I don't
not a
know
diss.
about a
No, I was
llama.
joking. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. I'm trying to get you away from like the whole lion love. Like,
Raw.
I want to
Yeah.
introduce you to other animals.
All right, how about a shark?
No,
Baby
He's
shark,
a lion. Let him be a lion.
Thank you,
but
Lynise.
yeah, but you're like the old lion. That's
No, I'm
like-
not an old lion. I'm a young baby.
Okay, like
Rawr. Rawr.
you ever watch the little videos of the lions trying to learn how to roar? They're so adorable.
I never watched it, but I assume it's
Now he's
very
gonna
adorable.
YouTube it.
Yeah, I'm
That
gonna
that
look
would
it
be
up.
your spirit animal.
I saw a video of a male lion trying to fuck his wife while she was asleep, and she like got up and like scratched at him, like, tried to attack him. She was like, "Get the fuck out of here, nigga!" Like,
The animal kingdom is such like the human kingdom is not even funny.
Yeah.
Some videos that we watch, I'm just oh y'all little niggas. Especially the meerkats, I love them little motherfuckers. Them things is they had their own little reality TV show. And like the people who was
used to
doing the
watch
show,
that.
yeah, they
used to
had
watch
named
that.
them. So it was like they had like different. It was like
I'm
a
like,
whole
how
game.
I'm like, obviously they just invent little names for them, but I'm like, how do they know that this is what they're doing? And sure enough, they're describing, and that's what the fuck they're doing.
That's
They
so
go up and
funny.
slap somebody. Yeah, 'cause this one had a fight earlier,
Like, it
and
was
then the
like
mom
little
came
gangs
home
of
with it.
meerkats.
And
It
I'm
was
like,
the cutest
where do they
thing.
come up with all?
Wow.
They really freaking observe them in their habitats like
They
this.
come up
for,
with
like,
a whole storyline. Wow.
weeks and
But
months
like
and
you
shit.
watch it play out. 'Cause what they're saying is like you can't help it. Like, okay, this must be true because what they're saying, the little meerkats is actually doing it. It's like it's like the West Side Story in that world. Like
She said, "What's that?" Story?
it is. You
But
saw,
it's true.
like little
Between
games.
animals, it's a whole like society between
Yeah.
different animals, different breeds. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can imagine.
I do like how humans are more trying to preserve the environment. I'm seeing like more documentaries where people are these activist groups are tagging certain like the hyenas, I think it was the hyenas or the African dogs. They're like tagging them like one dog in the group so that way they always have a little transit on them. They can always checking in on them, like they always know when they're sick or something. Like it's cute, and the animals know when they're not feeling well, they let the human help them.
Yeah.
And then when the job is, I'm like, okay, nigga, like back up off me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm out.
We go, I'm out. Yeah.
I agree. I feel like society as a whole is moving forward a little bit. They just passed a bill. They made animal cruelty a felony now. So like,
Yeah, I hate those commercials with the dogs and stuff
Sarah
like
McLachlan.
that.
because there's really
commercials.
some people who do fucked up shit to animals. Like, it's
Yeah.
just like inhumane. Like, I understand hunting to eat to survive. Like, that's totally logical and understandable. But
I
the
even
people,
understand hunting as a sport if there's an overpopulation.
if there's an overpopulation,
Right.
but when you're killing like dogs and like for no reason, like
Yeah.
setting them on fire, it's just
Yeah.
like
You're a psycho.
you're a psycho. Like, what the fuck? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You got Jeffrey Dahmer issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were about to say Jeff. Just Jeff.
I know.
I was about to be like, damn.
I came in peace
I would have
today,
accepted
people.
that after the shit. All the shit I've said to her, I would take that on the chin.
I've came in peace, people.
You're like
Please.
within civilization and you're in the wilderness a lot. Like, do you feel like, are you paying attention to like how things are progressing in the wilderness? Is it looking worse out there? Like, is it possible to save? Do you
Is
think,
Mother
in your
Earth
opinion?
happy or is she sad?
Yeah.
She's slowly dying. Just like people are getting more sick. Like it's crazy because like in the hunting community, they're very concerned about what's called chronic wasting disease, especially in deer. It's basically kind of like a Alzheimer's for deer. But my personal theory, is that it comes from like the pesticides and like things that we use. Even people that like have their own farms and like hunt on them, the animals are still eating those things,
Right.
and they don't. I mean, they're just eating, but it's affecting them to the point where they're starting to develop diseases also. Which
and
is
then
crazy
in
to
turn,
me.
if we're eating that meat, we're digesting and ingesting those diseases too.
Right.
There's one thing evolution showed it is something that's hereditary too. It goes from them to their little
Yes.
baby
Right.
animals, and it just keeps going and going and going. So
Right.
Right. So how do you like you're cleaning it before you eat it, but like how do you know it's not infested with something, like infected with something? Like, how do you know for sure?
That was a close
Sorry.
one.
Yeah.
My
do you-
wire just messed everything up.
So-
Don't worry about it, Cocoa Bear.
Well, if you like the protocol is if you know that you're in like a chronic wasting disease area where like there have been cases reported before, you always take the deer meat to go get it checked. But so far they haven't seen that it could be passed to humans. So
Yeah.
it's just kind of like
that's
they're
how the
taking their
zombie
chances.
apocalypse is gonna start.
I'm ready.
Right
But it's
there.
it's
You
crazy
just
because
said before you're not ready for the zombie
No,
apocalypse.
but I
no,
said-
no, Jeff said
No,
that.
I just want to see how the world would look at that. I want to see like
I don't.
he said
that
everyone
just
is
made some sense. Like it would start with the hunters. No offense
Yeah.
to you, be safe out there.
no, like
You
we
guys
have-
will probably be on the front line seeing that shit first.
I
Yeah.
think y'all will see it first.
Yeah.
Like,
shit. We have a bodyguard now if shit goes down. Like I'm gonna hire you. You're gonna protect us until we learn to get our shit together.
Bodyguard.
But why would you
'cause I don't know
hire
what
me? But how could you hire me if like society is going to crap?
Hire for a bodyguard.
That's what I'm saying. Hiring her money will mean
Shit,
nothing.
Fuck. What can you do? See,
What
it's
are you gonna pay
this is
her?
why you're here.
What can you barter? What can you barter to her? Like, what can you
Cupcakes.
give her?
Cupcakes. Yeah.
Gotta
Cupcakes.
learn how to make a
bake.
mean
Better get that
cupcake.
apron, Jeff.
Word.
Let's get
No,
it.
but we need you for your strength and versatility and your endurance. You can't you can't get sloppy in the process. No.
Right. What piece of advice would you give to
Cupcake
people
is
like
big.
us who aren't too savvy in the wilderness and probably can't survive as long as you?
A city folk.
Like, yeah, what is some of the 5 basic things if you're in the woods for the first time as a beginner that you should probably know?
There you go.
One, you want to be safe.
So bring a gun because Michael Myers is real.
Bang, bang.
Well, not in Jersey. Well, unfortunately, you can't do that in Jersey, which sucks. But I would say
I'm
like
sorry, you cannot have a gun to protect yourself as you're hunting in case somebody tries to stole off on you.
No.
First of all, you're a black woman in Jersey hunting in a white male dominated field, and you can't have a gun.
Yeah.
A little toot toot bang bang. Not even a little gun from Harlem Nights. He was like,
you have to have like it's illegal to like carry here basically unless you have a special permit, which is very rare. It's some like 16,000 or 1,600 of them get issued. Like it's ridiculous. And I'm from North Carolina where you spend $5 and you walk out with a gun. So I'm like, yeah, it's not okay.
I'm scared of guns. Actually, I took all this shit, but I don't really like guns. I don't.
I'm about to get my
I don't
gun
either, but I want to
license.
go to a shooting range.
Me too.
That'd be a good
It's fun.
group experience. I
Yeah.
think.
Shooting an assault rifle feels amazing.
I had a
I'm the
paintball
type of
gun.
person I feel like if I shoot a gun, if I shoot somebody for the first
You'll be
time,
addicted.
it's like a bloodlust. I'm just like, ooh, like.
I get that
I mean,
vibe from you.
shooting
too.
a gun is like a bloodless.
I
You'd be
get a
like,
vibe.
oh,
I get that
okay.
vibe from you, Lainey.
Yeah.
I feel like once you bust one off, you're gonna
It's
keep,
like,
keep
hold
killing
on.
people.
Be like fucking Bishop and Juice, like, motherfucker.
Shit
Like,
feels
I
good.
She'd be the sniper in the fort. That's fine.
Definitely.
That's
Do you-
fine. See,
do you-
Lainey's in.
Do you have like empathy like each time you kill something? Like
Oh, absolutely. It's like you have like a reverence for it
Mm.
because it's like I said, you're taking a life.
Mhm.
Like I don't take that lightly. Like you have to be responsible and understand. Like even little kids understand. Like, all right, like this is dead because of me.
Mhm.
So it's like you feel sadness, but you also feel a lot of gratitude. Like it's a very spiritual experience.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
was your family receptive to you being interested in this lifestyle at first?
My family supports me in everything. My mom, her worst fear in anything, especially when we moved up here, she's like, you need to be safe because somebody's gonna kidnap you and you're gonna be sold into sex slavery. Like I'm never gonna be shot. Like I'm never gonna be like stabbed.
She just sent you right into sex.
Like the
Yeah,
worst,
yeah,
the
like that's-
worst possible.
That's all. Anything. Anytime I ever tell her, anytime she's worried, she's like, "Please be careful." I don't, because it was like this guy I was seeing at one point, and he was Chinese. It's just like, you know that you need to be careful because Chinese people are very into sex slavery. I'm like, Mom, the biggest sex ring is in Atlanta, and it's run by black people. Don't go there. But no, they're very they're very supportive in everything that I do, but they always worry because I'm always like going out by myself, and they're like they just don't want anything to happen, which I understand.
Of course, because you're their baby.
2 questions. Do you have a military background? Your family does?
No, I graduated from military high school though.
Because I was trying to figure out, like, why would a black girl be hunting? In my head, it was like her father must be a Marine or something. She just must, like...
Oh, you missed that part. I'm from North Carolina.
Oh,
So I
okay.
grew up in the South.
Grew up in the South. You're hunting. And then my other question was, back to the 5 basic things we need to know if to survive in the woods the first time.
Yeah.
Be aware of your surroundings was one.
So is this like for the zombie apocalypse or just like
Just
in
in
general?
general.
Okay,
Survival,
okay.
just survival.
Make sure you have a plan. Make sure you like know where you're going, like what you're doing, and make sure you stay away from bears. Yeah, because like with black bears, if like you see like a female with her cubs, just chill out. Hopefully she'll walk away, but they will kill you because they see you as a threat. So be careful of bears. Is that 5?
That was 3.
3, yeah.
Oh, dang.
So
I'm
like,
counting.
Can't count.
let's say everything does go to shit. Like
She got 2 more points.
I
Hold
got-
on.
my-
Yes. 2 more.
Oh,
my
but I
bad.
can't
Sorry.
think, so I was gonna let you go.
We'll definitely tell somebody that you're going, right? Don't
Yeah,
just-
yeah. I always share my location with iPhone. and then know like who to contact in case of emergency, because there are like wildlife enforcement, like, and they'll know how to get to you faster than like the police will.
That makes sense.
What's like basic hunting gear? Like, what do you bring with you on each trip? Like, do you carry the same things each time, or does it switch up?
Most of the time. Yeah, most of the time I just carry the same thing. I have my bow. I have at least 2 arrows, and then a rangefinder to tell how far things are away, and then a knife to skin, and my backpack to carry everything, and of course clothes.
So like when you capture your prey or your game, whatever, right? So let's say you get a deer. How do you decide what part? Do you take the whole deer? Obviously, you don't take the whole deer. So how do you decide which part of the deer is edible and which parts are not edible?
Basically, I use the whole deer.
From head to toe?
From head
or
to
head
toe.
to hoof?
Head to hoof. Except for the hooves. Because with the bones, you can make bone broth. Bone broth is very good for you for collagen. The liver, the organs, the heart, everything, all those muscles.
Even the organs?
The organs are really, really good for you. Like, they have like a lot of vitamin B. Like, they're very good for your body.
So do you saute it? Do you fry it?
Oh,
Heart is actually really tender because it's a muscle, so it doesn't have any fat in it. So you can like slice it, you can fry it.
I have a southern background, so it's like chicken hearts and shit like that. But you didn't talk about a whole deer.
Literally eat your heart out.
So how big is a deer heart? Is it like big as my heart? It's just
it's a little
in the
bit.
palm of your hand.
Yeah, it's kind of like similar because it's the same weight. Like a deer is gonna weigh like 200 pounds. So
have you ever eaten the meat raw? Like,
no.
I heard that. Like, it was
My
maybe
friend
I watched
did
too
that.
many shit, but
Yeah,
kind of friend is this?
Well, people do that because
They
it's
eat
like
Because of what?
because
They eat
cooking
the bloody
anything
meat,
changes the chemistry, like the biochemistry of it. Or like,
So it's more nourishing when you eat it raw.
yeah, but I'm not about that life.
I
as
saw
far as
the-
I go with some steak, I like it. Like, I like to taste the blood in my steak.
Did you guys ever see The Revenant, where like he had to like kill like a bison or whatever it was, and he ate it raw? He like skinned it open so he could sleep overnight to wait out a storm, and then he ate the just the insides raw to survive.
Get some ketchup.
Get some ketchup.
Imagine how that tastes.
Oh, so have you ever killed a bear?
No, I want to though.
Make a jacket.
Don't go alone.
I actually want to make like a coyote fur, like a vest.
Yeah.
So if I see you with a new fur, I'll know where it came from.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
want
like,
to
even when
that.
PETA be going crazy, paid or whatever they are. Sorry, I don't mean to
PETA,
disrespect
yeah.
y'all.
See how they went after Little Kim the other week?
It's just
Shit.
like
They did.
my man. So this is the thing. I understand what they're saying. Like because it's $1 billion industry and like people do profit, and it's just like real. How it's fucked up how they do things. But again, I'm a firm believer in if you will kill it, then you can eat it and wear it.
Right.
And I will shoot the fuck out of a wolf, a bear, a coyote, whatever. Them chinchillas, they're small, right?
Yeah.
Never mind. Can't
Yeah.
do that. But I'll keep one for a pet just so I can put it on my shoulder. Like,
Like my chinchilla bitches.
I actually had 2 chinchillas growing up. They're pretty dope. Yeah.
Chinchilla.
Yeah. I was spoiled as a
I'd
kid.
walk it.
Yeah. Oh,
put it on a leash or let it walk you. Just you just gotta chase it.
This may be pessimistic, but I feel like there's more people than animals. So I feel like when it gets to a point where we have to live off the land and eat it, like survive, I feel like there's not going to be enough animals to save lives. The
No.
world.
But not
No,
everybody,
they're
not
definitely
all the people eat meat.
Survival of the fittest. More people would die off than survive.
And that's a fact. From disease, from being incapable of being able to hunt and gather.
Just can't do shit.
Yeah. And then you probably have a lot of people killing other people too. You know, population control.
yes, you're right.
You already know the
Yeah.
government would step in.
Is that like a real possibility? Like I know it's like a
Yes.
thing we talk about, but like and how soon do you think?
Well, and the was that Colorado airport? The thing said 2092. Remember I was telling you about the airport that has the vault, and the Denver airport that has the vault in the in the airport.
Oh yeah.
And it has like this whole new world order. This should not be open until 2092 for the new residents of the new world order.
Do new
that's
And
residents.
that says that in the Denver airport. And so for you to ask that question, yes, I think 2092 according to Denver airport.
That's literally 100 years from the year I was born.
Too much pork, man.
what?
Too much
It's a
coordination.
fact.
No, to him it may be like something.
It might be
significant.
significant. Yeah,
like,
for me.
CR could be 100 years old with the whole key to survival in
Right,
his heart.
doubt it.
right,
You know?
he could be the
With
apocalypse
With medical
like
advances, I might still be alive until
Right.
until I'm 120.
Right.
Sure. Keep eating that pork. We'll see how long
I'm
you last.
eventually gonna stop eating it.
He eats bacon every
Eventually.
now and then.
Thank you, Lynise, once again.
I got your back.
Thank you.
So you mostly hunt alone. Do you ever see that changing ever? Do you need, what is like the level of trust you need to be able to hunt with someone?
It's not really like a level of trust. It's like more availability. I have a very flexible schedule. So it's like, all right, well, hey, do you want to go hunt? Oh, no, I got to work. Or like, I just don't have enough people, or like not enough of my friends hunt. My friends like, oh, you know, CR, come with me and hunt.
I'm down.
Yeah, but
And I have a flexible schedule.
but the thing is, like, you got to go get your hunting license, and it's like,
Oh, shit. I gotta do all
Even
that.
just to go
Exactly.
with you, even
Yeah,
though
I'm
the
against
other
all
person
that.
wouldn't be hunting, they still would have to have a license.
if they're going with you just to like sit and watch you, no.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
let me.
but nobody wants to do that either
This
because
Yeah.
you
is
sitting in the
capitalism.
quiet.
I wanna
Any way
watch.
to make money,
I'm real
okay?
quiet.
You gotta pay for every goddamn. You gotta pay for a fucking license. Like all that shit is
How
your
much does it
God given
cost?
right.
It depends on what you want to do. Like if you're hunting with a gun versus hunting with a bow, and it's like
Let's say I
if
want
you're
to
a
do a
resident,
bow.
well, your residence would be like $70 for the whole year.
That's nothing.
Yeah,
But is there a
got
test
that.
and shit?
yeah.
So, all right. So there's like a computer course I gotta take.
No, it's just like a little handbook that you study, but 10-year-olds pass it, so it's not hard.
Okay. How long is the test?
It's like I don't remember how many questions it is. It's maybe like 100 questions,
Hmm.
but it's like, oh, what's the difference between a 12-point shotgun and or 12-gauge shotgun and a 10-gauge shotgun, or like,
Oh, sorry, it was 2094. Let me get the date right. I just wanted to make sure.
Damn.
So
I
you
thought it
gonna
was
be
exactly-
gotta write
102.
that down.
So that's it. 2094.
Wow.
So 102 years. after you're born.
I believe
Yeah,
in
New
you.
World Order
I'm gonna
Airport.
try. Eventually, I will completely stop eating bacon.
Oh,
I don't
'cause
believe
it's,
you, but
they have like a whole
Somewhere
space.
down the line. I haven't had ribs in a long time. I mean, come on. Give me some credit.
Why don't you just eat beef ribs?
Because I'm trying to stay away from red meat altogether.
Beef ribs
Don't
with
they
some
have
black
turkey
bean
ribs, too?
sauce and
But
some
beef,
white
I mean,
rice.
but I'm learning more now. Just like how she was saying, moderation is, what it comes
Moderation
down
is
to.
key.
Because my whole thing about trying to stop eating meat is because I don't want to get cancer. Like that's my whole thing.
So buy organically, or like she said,
Go
get
hunting.
your hunting
That's right.
license
I
and get
really
you-
want to start going hunting. I don't know if I'll be able to skin my animals, but I have a great friend named
Buy you
Danielle.
But
Three
there's still
chickens.
there are still like butchers that could do that for you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you just bring it to them and you pay them.
I
Yeah.
feel like deers are like tier 2 of hunting. Like, did you start with smaller things like squirrels and birds and shit like that?
No, I just started with deer.
I
Oh,
really want to
deer
get
is
into
basic.
this because
Yeah.
Shit.
I'm
'Cause,
trying
like-
to really get into this whole health thing.
Because like
Sorry.
squirrels, I
Taking
wouldn't
a
eat
while.
squirrels because it's a rodent.
Mm-mm.
But like
I always
rabbits,
said squirrels is furry rats.
I always said that
Yeah.
too.
exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Because then like they just eat. I don't know. They can eat garbage. It's just weird to me. And then they're small, so it's not a lot of meat. But rabbits are like hard to find, so it's just easier.
They're
to stick
fast,
your-
too.
Yeah.
Fast
When I
little
went to
bastards.
Kentucky, it was something. Was it rabbit we was eating, or what's the
I
other
never
thing?
had rabbit.
It's like
I want it so
vermin.
Hare?
bad.
No, is it vermin? It's something. That's not vermin. It could have been
Venison?
rabbit. No, it's not venison. It was something. It was like some fucking goulash I was eating at It could have been rabbit. What's another? Is it possum?
Oh
Yeah.
Lord.
Possum,
skunk.
raccoon.
I ain't-
Can you eat skunk? I don't know.
You
I'm sure some people do.
It was one of those, either like possum
Might
or,
have been
but it was good though. I ain't gonna lie, I bust that shit down.
I couldn't.
Hell yeah, I forget what it's called. I got the whole recipe book for like everything they cooked for the thing, like Kentucky recipes. I'm gonna try some of them shits though.
But I've heard that from different southern places. Like Charlemagne talks about it all the time. Like he ate possum when he was living in I think North Carolina or South Carolina.
South Carolina.
South, yeah, Monk's Corner.
Monk's Corner. He was
Charlemagne
from
also-
the boonies.
The
so.
boonies, yeah.
Charlemagne
He-
also sells T-shirts with anxiety on them. Like, what the fuck is he a scammer?
I'm not. Look,
But that
That's
ain't
a whole
mean-
nother
that ain't
concept.
mean he eat possum.
that's what I'm gonna. Well, that's a whole nother
possum.
conversation.
want-
I'm not
that's another
opposed.
conversation
But
entirely.
yeah, that's a
I
whole
just
nother.
had to say it.
I'm not even gonna chime in on that.
Yeah.
But
So-
I don't think it's a bad thing.
What does
That
Charlemagne?
he's selling T-shirts that say anxiety because, for one, it takes money to make the shirts, and if he wants to spread the mental health awareness, he's gonna have to sell it for something if he's gonna continue to spread it.
We don't own the mental health platform.
Right, and nobody owns
No,
it.
I
I feel
just-
like nobody should be critiqued for how they're spreading their message, and if you're making money
And
off
regardless
of it,
if they're on the bandwagon or not, at this point, there's awareness being spread,
and that's what matters.
And it's awareness being spread within the Black community.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
feel like we are no longer, as Black people, we are no longer ignoring the issue that, hey, some of us really do have mental issues, and some of us are just fucking crybabies.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like we are in the age of everybody trying to figure out who's who and what's what, and not with just each other, but within themselves too.
Right.
So
Right. So we are a mental health based podcast.
I know.
So you have listeners
The
first.
listener.
She's already a fan.
What does hunting do for your mental health? Does it keep you sane? Does it keep you like focused? Does it keep you alert? Keep you
Well, scientifically, it's actually really good for your brain, your mood, to help with any like anxiety or depression. It's really tranquil because it's just you.
It's a good cathartic release.
Yeah. And I believe in like grounding because, you know, human beings conduct electricity. So it helps you just kind of put that back into the earth. It's very therapeutic.
What's
for me.
more therapeutic, would you say, hunting or working out?
Hunting. Because hunting is like calming. It's like if you ever just like lay in water and just be. It's like that.
So you bring your chair out there, you sit with your gun, you got your coffee and your tea, and just like, yeah, what's up, Woods?
Yeah.
Like
And
you
it-
just a relaxation,
but
like a meditation, like a
Yeah, because like if you're ever watching a sunrise and you hear like, especially turkey season is my favorite because you're up and you're out in the woods before the sunrise. And you listen to the woods wake up. Like you listen to birds wake up. You listen to squirrels wake up. And it's phenomenal.
I love coming home like 5 o'clock in the morning. You hear everything waking up around you. It's just
That's
like,
pretty
oh,
cool.
look at you. Yeah.
It just feels different around that time. Just the world feels different.
Feel more
Yeah.
thankful. It's more gratitude at that time.
It's
Yeah.
very
Like-
quiet as far as people, and I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't hear any
Oh,
cars.
but you still, I feel like where I live out here, everybody's stirring. Like people are turning on their lights, putting their coffee on, like getting ready to walk out the door for work and shit. But I had a so I saw on your Instagram page that you pre-record, like you keep a tracker. My crazy mind, anything spooky ever come up on that tracker? I watch so many horror movies that are in the woods, and it's just like, you ever see the shadow pass by or anything that made you be like,
No, I haven't. The worst thing is like a bear.
You just don't like bears, huh? Are you scared
No,
of
I
bears?
do. I like bears. I just really want to hunt one. And it's really hard to do in New Jersey.
There's laws against it, or you just don't have many out there?
No, the governor is like he's trying to ban, he's anti-hunting, so he banned bear hunting on like certain types of land, so it really limits. And it's like a week, like I think it was last week was like the bear season, but it's only like 5 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're ready to hunt one if you got the opportunity to do so?
Absolutely.
What would be that process like for you? Like you wake up in the morning, you pack your shit, you're on the way there, you wait for like maybe a few hours, you see a bear roll by. What do you do first?
Well, for bear, you have to be very specific because with a bear, it's a very strong animal. So they can get shot with a shotgun and not
Take
die.
that shit, hell yeah.
Yeah. So you have to wait until, like, on your side, the front paw has to be extended to expose the vitals, and then you have to take an ethical shot and hit it right in the heart. But then you can't shoot it while it's looking at you because then it sees you as a threat and it'll come and try to attack you.
Oh, hell no. I'm good.
So is it like kind of like a luck of the draw type thing? I guess the position of how it's standing, how it's moving. How
It's more
aware
like
it
a
is?
patience game. Like you have to wait because sometimes like it's not like you go and you always get an animal. Sometimes you have to pass on that animal because you're not able to take like a responsible shot. So it's like you have to wait for that right moment, and that's when like the adrenaline, because your adrenaline starts rushing because like your fight or flight kicks in, and it's just like, all right, well, like it's do or die, and it's not really, you're not gonna die, but it's that feeling of
You could
like.
die.
You actually could. There's one of the hunters I follow on Instagram. He actually speared a bear, like with a spear.
I like
And it
to
was-
meet that man.
Yeah,
Like,
it
strong
was
as hell.
crazy. It was crazy to watch, and he like videotaped it and everything. But like you just see like the animal and like, and when you harvest it, it's just like,
I'm getting
so
sad
surreal.
as you talk about this. It's
I
just
mean,
like,
but you eat it.
But you're feeling sad about like the animal's death?
yeah.
Gotcha, yeah.
It
I
is.
could see
It is
how.
sad.
I could see how.
I don't feel the way about bears for some reason. Just because they're so menacing and they can kill me too.
See,
like-
I don't see that way because I watch too many goddamn documentaries, and it's just like bears are just like, especially the little mama bears with their cubs. Like, would you kill a mama bear if she's with her cubs?
Well, that would be very dangerous for me because if a mama bear is with her cubs and she sees you, she's automatically going to see you as a threat.
Okay.
So anytime that's that survival tip thing. Anytime you see a mama bear in the woods with her cubs, do not go.
Just stay still.
Yeah, just stay still. Hopefully she'll go away. If
Does
not,
playing
like,
dead really work?
for black bears, yes. So there's black bears and there's grizzly bears.
Mm.
So grizzly bear, you gonna die. Sorry. There's no. They tell you if it's a black bear, lay down and play dead. If it's a grizzly bear, fight for your life. But 9 times out of 10, you're gonna die because it's a 10-foot bear.
Damn.
She said fight for your life, but not.
Oh
10.
my
Well,
God.
thanks everybody. Like,
10
scared.
foot.
That's why when people go out hunting like out west or like Alaska, they always carry like a 45 because grizzly bears will just charge at you for no. They just kill things just to kill things. That's why like people are like, oh no, it's Yogi Bear. No, it's going to kill you. Like that's not how life works.
so the black bears is the one because I think it was like I think it's in Jersey or maybe Pennsylvania. There's like this guy who feeds them, and they always come onto his property. And he feeds them, and people were just like, they're only being that nice because it is an exchange. The day he stops giving them food, they're liable to kill his ass. Yeah.
I mean, animals are unpredictable at the end of the day. Like we
Yeah,
can't.
that's so
They're not
true.
like we're used to having pets, so people view like wild animals as like pets, and
And that's
it's not.
so foolish.
Yeah,
You'll fucking die.
yeah.
Have you been in a situation where you felt like you could be injured or hurt in any way?
Not by an animal. So this has not been my summer. In May, I partially ruptured my Achilles, and then 2 months ago, I had an emergency hernia. So my smart self was in the woods, like 3 weeks after my hernia surgery, and I was like walking around. And I was like, "Oh, it's fine, it's cool." And then I was walking. I was like, "No, it's not fine." Like I felt like I was about to pass out, but that was just me being dumb. That wasn't like any animal.
You
About
just needed
that.
the rush of the woods, huh?
Yeah, like that's my therapy zone.
That's what's up. That's cool. I think that's dope what you're doing. I've never met somebody like you before. But then again, you are from the South, so you're not from New York, so it's refreshing anyway.
sense.
Yeah.
It makes more sense.
But you know what's crazy? In New York, it's like a secret society with hunting because of like people like PETA, and it's so like taboo. People, you could work with somebody for like 20 years and not know that they hunt because they're so closed off about it.
Wow.
Because it's not accepted, like as accepted up here as it is like down south or like out west.
I think that's definitely true.
Northerners always had to stick up their ass.
Yeah, I feel like they're bougie. They're like, oh, you hunt.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Kill your own food.
Oh, you have slaves. We have servants. We don't have slaves. We hire them.
We pay them. We pay them. We give them benefits.
You're like our family.
They're like they nurse our children.
So a bow is your weapon of choice? Why?
Just because one, it's like more of a challenge, and it's quieter, and it's like more primitive, so it feels more natural. Because like bows and arrows originated in Africa, so it makes me feel like more connected.
I know
to
who's
the
on
culture.
my team in the apocalypse. Running to find you, like, come on, Coco, let's go. We gotta get to Jersey.
Did you have to grow into like this courageous side to like go out on your own and do this, or were you always like this your entire life?
Yeah, no, I'm a Pisces, so I'm like water on the rock, and I was always like very timid, and I was telling
Timid Pisces, y'all crazy as hell.
yeah, I feel like we're just kind of naturally bipolar a little bit, but
Y'all have y'all days. Y'all be like, no, I'm okay. The next day be like, bitch, I'm going jet skiing.
Right.
I'm on a plane. Woohoo,
Yeah.
this is life.
And that's what I was telling CR, kind of like my story. Part of the reason why I moved up here was because I came out of a domestic violence relationship. So I was very like a shell of myself, right? I was very broken down, and there were, I went through a really bad depression. And like when we broke up, I remember I like laid in bed for 5 days, and my sister's like, "I love you, but I just need you to shower." And she's like, I know that you're struggling right now, but we got to get you in the tub, boo-boo.
That's love.
So yeah, and that's who I've been like all my life. It's just like timid, like, oh, it's okay, like it's fine. But when I got up here, like it really changed me, because like being around everybody that's like strong and like has that attitude, you take it on a little bit, and that's who I wanted to kind of, or like the part of myself that I really wanted to bring out, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, and I'm glad you found that up here.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm surprised she found it up here. No lie, I will not lie to you. I'm like really shocked.
Yeah, I think it was more so like the environment that I was in down there versus like the actual place.
Because Southern girls are so, especially if you was I don't want to say brought up right, but if you was raised fortunate. You're very prim and proper.
Mm-hmm. Because, like, we're more groomed.
Domesticated. Yes, groomed.
Yeah.
Yes. Like,
That's the
you're very,
perfect word.
like, you're a good servant. Like, if you was to be in a marriage. You
Because
know
that's what we do. Like,
Yeah.
and that was part of the reason when I moved too. I was 24 and not married, and everybody's looking at me funny. Like, all my friends are married by like 21, 22, have kids. Like, that's
Coco
just,
grabs
yeah.
her heart.
But that's
It's
literally
different up here.
it's the
It's
culture.
way different.
Yeah.
It's the culture.
It's the
Yeah.
culture. Totally.
And especially like you're in the Bible Belt, so it's like, oh, you better get married.
But
instead
I
of
was
living
raised
in
and
sin
groomed
all
that way.
stuff.
My mom is Southern. I was definitely raised to cater to men.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
would
serve
say,
your
yeah.
husband. Like that's the idea.
You wouldn't think that, right? But yeah,
I wouldn't think that.
I didn't say that.
I'm domesticated the shit out this
The
bitch.
way she was talking about food, I felt it. I felt that connection.
I cook, clean, all that shit.
Mhm.
But
I could understand. I mean, you have like a nurturing soul. Like I feel like when you come in the room, you kind of.
I'm just a bitch. Like it's one of those things that I do have that New York attitude. So as much as I want to please and serve, I'm also like, shut the fuck up. You can't tell me what to do.
I've gotten that many times. If you weren't aware.
But our arguments is
interesting.
different. Though.
Yeah, no,
So
yeah,
let's
but-
just let the people be aware. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
strictly
Context,
business.
please. Thank you very much.
Wait, so it's like when you successfully kill something, like that initial feeling, is it like, do you feel powerful in that moment? Like,
There's like no part of hunting that makes me feel like powerful. I don't know if that's just
accomplished?
yeah, because there's a lot of work that goes into it. So the first thing I feel is excitement because it's like, okay, I hit it, but then you have to think, okay, did I hit it well? Like, was my shot good? Is it going to actually die? Because that happens too. So it's like you're more so thinking, but you're still excited. And like I said, that adrenaline is rushing. So that's like your thoughts are all over the place. But then it goes to like, okay, well, now I have to find it. I have to track it. And that's when like some of the work comes in. It's like kind of like playing around in the woods. Like when you're a little kid, it's like, oh, we got to go find whatever in the woods. Kind of like that.
You ever killed a snake?
No,
Just to
but
do it?
I
no.
wish you would. I hate them things.
I like snakes. I had a pet snake and my sister killed it.
My
Thinking about
uncle
some
had a pet
shoes.
snake. We used to watch it eat rats.
Well, I would get some alligator boots because I want to go hunt an alligator next year. So I got you.
I want some gator nuggets. I heard
They're
those are good.
Yeah.
It tastes
Gator
like pork,
nuggets.
so you like it.
It's, Yeah.
Was that shade?
No, it's
No,
serious.
that's being
That was actual
serious.
help.
Yeah, everybody that eats alligator, they're like it tastes just like pork.
Really?
I had them. They were really salty.
So funny.
Mm-hmm.
Salty.
Alligator. This I don't know. You don't tell me what it is because it took me like 20 years to eat oxtails.
Really?
I only ate that shit because I was high as fuck.
Are you
With
serious?
my friend, I kid you not.
I love oxtail.
I remember people. I remember this oxtail, which I ain't eating that. One day I was so high in the car. She and her boyfriend doing an oxtail. They was making out in the backseat. I was in the front like, yo, I'm hungry, girl. Let's go. But she would have. Listen, I ate that whole goddamn thing. When she finished, when she came up for air, she was like, girl, I said, hey, thank you, Jesus. And ever since then, I was like hooked on oxtails.
Wow. I love oxtail.
I had a good question. I forgot it.
Sorry.
It's gone. The fucking pork conversation came back up, and then
It'll come back.
Took it away from
I
I'm having flashbacks of my experience eating pork.
What is the weirdest meat you ever eat? Like the weirdest animal?
I'd say,
And say them all because they all be weird to me.
oh, well, still like escargot. Like that's just weird because
That
it's
is
a snake.
amazing. That shit is good.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the
No
texture? Is it like snot?
I don't
Oh
know.
my God.
It looks
It's
like,
like-
it.
Kind of like a clam, maybe.
Yeah, there's a spot in Brooklyn. They make that. It's so fucking good. It's like a French marionette. I think it's Monette or some shit like that. They have like dollar oyster happy hour every day from 5 to 10 or some shit like that. But the escargot is so good. Like I will not lie. Like I be needing extra butter to dip all the like get all of that extra. Like, yes, like not extra butter, extra bread to get.
Yeah.
Gross.
Sop it up with.
Never had it.
Yeah, it's just like
Try it.
it's
Maybe.
good.
Maybe with you guys. I'll
It's
try.
good. No, it's good.
Yo-
Yeah, definitely with us. We
Yeah.
had y'all eating oysters.
I had
Yeah,
oysters
don't
before
remind me.
that though.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were good though. They were
Yeah,
good.
I
I just
enjoyed
want to do
it.
it like regularly.
With
like,
the Tabasco sauce.
As
Yes.
much as often. I mean, as
Yeah.
much as often. As
What
much as
else?
possible.
That's about it. Just had like elk and deer, but it wasn't weird. It's just like meat.
What is the texture of deer? Because I never ate it, but I've been interested in it.
It's
Does it
literally
shred
the
like
same
beef?
as beef. Yeah,
Really?
but it's just leaner. It's naturally leaner.
So it's like
To
no
me-
fat.
Yeah, to me it tastes better because like I feel like the animals that we eat, like pork and chicken and beef, are like so they're like biochemically altered now
Yeah.
in my mind, and like it just tastes like it tastes pure. When you
And
eat.
one thing that I forgot who I was talking to, somebody brought this up. They said even the way the animals are raised, because they're not running around, they're raised in cages.
Yeah.
The meat
They're
isn't
not happy.
exactly, and the meat isn't going to be as good as if you got like a deer or something that's running around and is healthy,
Living his best life.
Living his
Right.
best life is like
So
yeah.
what if everybody was to like stop eating that meat and go to halal meat? Isn't halal
Halal?
meat like
It depends.
it's like it's
It
killed
depends.
peacefully?
Yeah, the way
I-
they kill it and they pray over it and they bleed it out.
Have you ever watched the documentary Earthlings?
No.
You should watch it.
Is it about halal meat?
It's about all meat, how meat is processed, and because like the thing that got me, and I would buy kosher meat,
Yeah.
but they were like a lot of the kosher butchers, they're not kosher. It's the same.
What?
Like, and it
And
was
they just
crazy.
put the label on it.
Yeah,
Fucking asshole.
yeah, because
I-
it's just
Couldn't
it's
the
just
same
for the
be
money.
said for the halal
know
meat?
what?
I believe
Exactly.
That. I
Oh my
believe
God.
that.
So it's like
and I was
you
just gonna
can't, you
say that. I
literally
believe
cannot
that.
trust anything. You
Oh my
cannot
God.
trust
I
any
believe
label.
that. I believe that.
In
Even
the
with,
prison
like-
system,
Huh?
kosher meat is just what it is. Kosher meat. I went to a Fed prison one time to visit somebody with my ex-wife. It was her family member. And I remember her saying, like, girl, like, make sure you go get the kosher stuff. And I was just like, bitch, I'm not trying to eat in prison. Like, I'm just trying to do this visit and let's go. But we ended up getting a few kosher things out the little,
Vending machine.
no, like, yeah, the vending machines or whatever the case. And it was just like, wow, this was like, that was the best little turkey sandwich I ever had. And it was in jail. Shit was amazing. Will not lie.
This wasn't a question I had, but now I'm thinking about it. Like, because you've been on both sides of the fence food-wise, like the shit that you hunt and you eat, and then what's in the stores. Like, when you eventually run out of the stuff that you hunt, like, what are some alternatives you could recommend that people could buy that are also just as healthy?
Honestly, when I run out of meat, I just kind of go like vegan-ish. Like I haven't I haven't purchased meat from the store in like years.
So you don't eat corned beef?
I've never had corned beef.
You was definitely in the upright in the South, huh?
No, I never tried it. My mom she's all corned beef and chitlins and pig's feet.
I ain't
So
know
what
about
about during the
chitlins now.
holidays coming up? Like, what are you going to do?
Are you visiting?
My mom got upset because I'm like, I don't like celebrating holidays because I don't believe in how they're celebrated. It's kind of like my exit thesis for high school was how commercialization of holidays made them lose their meaning. So I'm like, I don't
But
really
you
like
have
to
to
go.
invoke new meaning into them.
Yeah, but my family's not with that, so I'm like, I'm invoking meaning by myself.
I mean, I feel because my family's like that too. But I just look at it as like, it's the time for me to spend time with them because any other time I'm just like, y'all need to leave me alone.
Yeah.
But on those days, I'm just like, oh, I love y'all. Y'all my family. Let's eat.
Bring
Yeah,
a
for
pre-
me,
a
it's the
pre-packed
food and the
meal
time
and-
together.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the
That's
food.
what-
Yeah,
that's
it's
it
really
for
the
me.
food and the time
That's
together.
it,
Like
yeah.
my Thanksgiving meal, it's been the same meal since I was born. The only difference is she stopped cooking ham and we don't cook turkey no more.
What do y'all? No turkey?
I
what is
haven't
left?
eaten a turkey since I was like 5.
Wow. So what do you guys have? Chicken?
Turkey really ain't
Chicken.
there,
It's like a
by the way.
capon. She. I don't know. She.
Is it a whole chicken and then she kind of like put stuffing in
No,
it?
it's like a whole chicken, but it's specifically called a capon. It's like one of those big ass Dominican chickens. So it looks like a turkey, but it's actually a chicken.
Brolic
I don't know why that was
It's a
so
brolic
funny.
ass chicken.
On steroids and
Big
shit.
ass
You know, my
Dominican
mom,
chicken.
my mom is so cute and subtle. She's like, no, it's a capon. Like she would never say it's just a baked chicken. It's a capon, Helena. I'm like, okay, mommy.
Aw.
So yeah, it's a capon. We don't. And I'm saying the bullshit, but it's chicken. It's baked chicken with stuffing inside.
I would
I'm here
like
for it.
that. I would. I
I'd
like,
rather that than turkey.
that's what I'm saying. I like chicken better than turkey. Turkey could get dry.
Yes, if you don't know how to cook
Yeah.
a turkey, that shit is dry.
Yeah. The wings are my favorite part of the turkey, though.
Word.
I love turkey wings.
But you know what, people? I've been telling CR, use social media and YouTube to your advantage. The food recipes out there, because I got my boy's banana pussy.
Whoa, banana pussy. Banana pussy.
Today.
My favorite.
Ooh, delicious.
Banana pudding.
Shit.
Okay, lady.
Lord Jesus.
What you doing before you got here?
Some
Banana
bananas involved.
pussy.
Hey.
Never mind. Banana.
Banana pussy. Mm-hmm.
No, it's on her mind. She
It's
got
on
something
her
lined up.
mind, baby.
She got something lined up after the pod.
I'm going home after the pot to eat my rest of my meatloaf. I'm starving right now. If you notice, I keep gearing the conversation towards meat. I have another question. Fuck what I was about to say. Have you ever had deer steak? Like, can you make it like the deer? Make a steak out of it? Like,
Yeah, that's my favorite
So
thing.
it tastes just like cow steak.
I think it tastes better.
You need
Somebody-
to invite us over for food for dinner.
Yes, that would be great.
I'll bring the sides.
I'll just show up. I'll bring some weed.
Coco will bring the cheese platter.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Cheese platter.
First of all,
I'll bring the
cheese
wine.
platter.
Cheese
You
platter
like
and
cheese
oysters.
platters?
I guess I have to have the right cheese platter because I'm not a fan of cheese
You
platters.
ain't have one of. If we
Yo,
were to make the cheese
Coco-
platter,
Trust
All
you.
right.
You said
I've
that word.
had-
I don't know
you
if I
would-
can trust you, bro.
Why? Trust
you would
me with
want
what?
it every
Keep
time
saying
we get
don't-
together.
You keep saying you don't fuck with the cheese like that. I don't
It's
know
like
if
you
we
with the
fuck-
oysters,
Because
Jeff.
exactly.
No, it's different.
Jeff.
No.
No, it's
Cheese
really
and
not.
oysters on two ends of the
not.
spectrum.
What's the difference?
But no,
It's
give me
not.
one
Cheese is
second.
better.
I want to brag of something I don't know about Coco. She makes the best little platters in the world. Like if you go to her house and she's like hosting you, you come in there. We're gonna spend you. It's a freaking platter of all these fucking goodies. It'll be like dried cranberries, cheese,
Nuts,
crackers.
crackers, with the rosemary in it.
I'll be
okay?
Yes.
open. I'll be open to it.
You
Then.
know, it would be
Word.
I'll be
freaking
open to it.
salsa, chips, grapes, like different
I love
fruits
grapes.
and shit. Like she be fucking
nature's
a platter.
candy.
She fucks a platter up, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes,
She's
so
like
excited.
the Black Martha Stewart.
You're missing out.
All right. Maybe I'm open to this cheese
I
platter.
actually have an idea.
Yo.
I have an idea going forward about the whole food thing you talked about, but we'll talk about that later.
You think I'd be saying cheese platter just because I want cheese and crackers?
That's what I was thinking in my
Yeah,
I
mind.
said
fire,
it when
that's
I house.
fire.
I was thinking Lunchables.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, bro.
Coco's cheese platters are one of a kind.
Maybe
All
we'll do
right.
it for
Snack platters is
Friendsgiving.
everything.
For
Yeah.
Friendsgiving, we'll do it.
I like that.
Keep forgetting.
But that's so steak, deer steak.
Somebody gave me that, but I didn't eat it because at that time I didn't know about how to cook it. Right? Obviously now I know it's just like cooking any steak.
Well,
right?
you actually don't cook it the same. You
Oh,
gotta,
shit.
you gotta cook it a little bit differently. You don't. It's easy to like overcook.
Oh, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
It cooks faster.
So it cooks okay.
Yeah,
Is it because it's so lean? That's why it cooks faster.
I think so.
That
It's
makes
better
sense.
to grill it.
Yeah, I will like just put it in a pan and saute it most of the time.
Oh, what is the best time of year to hunt?
Wait, you
And
get
then
out
what
my
do
head.
you do? What do you do during the time of the year when it's not the best time to hunt, like food wise? Like
So deer season runs from September, like bow hunting. That's another reason why I bow hunt. It runs from September to February, and that's like the best in the entire country. So the best time to hunt is like around November because it's around like their mating season. So like the male deers are like chasing. They're more active. So it's a lot more
You
fun.
shoot a
Then.
nigga on his way to his nut. That's
would you kill a deer and if they would caught him in the act? Like would you kill them?
No, no,
You
no.
away.
Think like that spoiled meat.
Well,
You got so nasty.
that's excess
So
testosterone.
nasty. Y'all are
It's like
so
mid pop, like pop pop.
That's like a 2-for-1 special right there. Like
But when you shoot one, the other one's gonna run away. So it's like unless you have a buddy and you're shooting them together, then
She gonna be like,
Would you
wait,
rather
hold
them-
up.
All
all right,
Save
ready
myself.
on 3.
Damn, that's fucked up.
would you rather like you kill them like while they're aware rather than unaware? I guess.
No, they're always unaware because deer move at like 400 feet per second. So you want them to be unaware because you can shoot that when you shoot at them, they naturally duck. So it's easy to like mess up. Yeah, because it'd be like, you know how when somebody shoots, they'd be like,
Damn.
they do the same exact thing. Like not even kidding. So you have to be. That's why you have to be careful and like make sure you take a good shot.
And deer are dumb, right? Like you could. Like,
No, deer are really smart
I
because
was
they
about to
use
say.
their nose. So with a deer, and it's crazy that they naturally do this. They know which way the wind is blowing, like the direction. So they always keep the wind at their back so that it can funnel around to their nose, and they always keep their eyes forward. They naturally do that.
Didn't the cartoons teach you anything?
I didn't know that.
But this is why
I did not
I'm
know
glad I
that.
remember this. Tracking. So I've played a lot of games in my life, and tracking is usually based off like you follow like the footprints and whatever, like the way the leaves are piled a certain way. You
Yeah.
may have been to find out it was there maybe a few hours ago. Like,
Yeah.
what is like your tracking process like?
So there's you find
Don't
where.
laugh at me. You keep everything I said.
But it was so good though. You did really good.
Thank you.
See,
Someone's on
you
my
know what you're
side.
talking about. No, but when you're looking at like deer are nocturnal, so they're more active at night. They go by the they go by the moon. They don't go by the sun.
What? Let's go to
Yeah.
forest,
Yo, we
bitches.
learning
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Like, I'm ready.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
We
So
learning shit.
so you look to see you look for like feces. Or you look to see where they're bedded, like where they sleep, and you'll notice like where leaves are spread out, or like there's like an indentation, or you'll see like their hoof, and you look to see how big it is to kind of age it, like things like that, and see like for male deer, have you ever Do you guys know what it means for a deer to be in velvet?
Hell no.
What is that?
Heard
Velvet?
of that
So
before.
Google it.
I don't know.
Google it, and
Educate us.
you'll see. So when deer's antlers fall off every year. And when they grow back, like the same kind of fur that's on their body kind of grows on their antlers.
Like
Because
peach fuzz, kind of.
yeah, it's literally velvet. Like if you see like a velvet,
Great comparison.
if you see like a velvet fabric, it's the same thing,
I want to see.
basically. So it provides all of the nutrients for the antlers to grow.
Right.
I want to see.
So
Interesting.
when it's time, like after the summer, like if you see deer on the highway or a male deer on the highway during the summer, you'll see it in velvet.
What?
I want to see.
No.
I wanna
Why
see.
is it bleeding?
Yeah, so that's
No.
that's
Let me
another
see.
sign.
Let me see.
It's a period kind
So-
of, right?
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
a
Oh my god.
Can I
So-
see?
Oh my god.
It's like a period.
You're like a little kid. You're like, hey. I want to see.
It's a period for deer.
He had
Yeah.
his period on his head.
Yeah, it was just like,
because
ooh.
what happens, the velvet
Damn.
provides nutrients to the antlers so that they can grow because it's bones growing out of their head.
That's got to be
basically.
painful, no?
Yeah, so what they do,
That's like teething.
kinda.
Oh.
It's like the
Oh.
most painful thing deer go through
That's so
because after, like you watch. I hate bringing this up, but Bambi, when he's grown up and he's like rubbing his head across the tree, that's what they do to get the velvet off, and that's why they bleed like that.
But why they ain't show us Bambi bleeding? The fucking Disney.
Because
It
it's
fuck a lot of
Disney.
kids up. I
They-
mean, the death was bad enough.
Everybody hates
Damn,
Disney.
that's like
Bambi
the gift and
died?
curse of
No,
being a
Bambi's mama
deer.
died.
Mama
Yeah,
died.
his mom.
But they told us a lesson. Your mama's going to have to go eventually.
I mean, that's the way circle of life.
yeah.
you know?
The
So-
circle of life.
Like, it would have
New
been sadder
conscious
if
rap
Bambi
coming
died.
soon.
right.
New CR coming
Yes,
soon. Circle
inspired
of
by
life.
the Lion
I'm here
King.
for it.
Although when Mufasa dies, I no longer want to watch The Lion King, the cartoon one. I would
To
never
this
watch
day,
the real one.
I cry.
That new one.
I cry
Have
every
y'all-
time.
Oh,
this
yeah.
thing comes.
Have you ever seen a Lion King sequel? Like that
I
exists.
didn't like that.
I never saw
There
it.
were two.
Yeah,
have-
there was
oh,
one
yeah.
and a half.
Yeah, there was one
Lion
and a
King
half
1 and a
and
half, and
two.
then Lion King 2.
And
Yeah.
did they do it?
It was
three?
cute.
They
good
did
for
a
a season.
fucking
Never seen it.
cartoon
They
Yeah.
did
fucking
three
series.
because they did the one with the
They
black,
did it three.
the black one,
Yeah.
and then they did the one with Simba's daughter, and then they did the one with Timon and Pumbaa.
It was
and then-
cute.
It was crazy.
See, I'm a Lion King fan. I thought it
I
was
like the
cute.
original. I'm a huge Lion King fan, but the original was
I
my
actually like the
favorite.
sequel because
Yeah?
just because the music was dope.
Okay, I guess I gotta give it another try.
No, you don't
I've been
have
a
to.
more of a Aladdin guy myself.
Aladdin.
Yes.
Yeah.
I only liked the
I
Aladdin
can
for
see
that,
that.
song, A Whole New World. That was my
Yeah, that was a
shit
good
when I
song.
was a
That
kid,
was a good
okay?
song.
I thought I was a
A
singer.
whole new world.
I'm not
Okay.
gonna
okay.
I was waiting for you to come on. Come on,
And the
Lynise.
She was about to
Pirates
harmonize
of
with you
the
too.
Caribbean.
I heard it.
I
I heard it.
You're supposed to be
Not
my
at
Jasmine.
They're
You're
not
supposed to
ready.
be my
Not at
Jasmine.
They're
all.
not ready. You can't give it away for free.
Yeah, no, it's
Give nothing away for free over
Have
here.
you done any hunts like overnight? Have you stayed overnight in the woods?
Yes. Well, not in the woods, but like in a cabin.
In a cabin.
Yeah.
I never
You
slept
don't
in
be
a cabin.
scared
What's
of all
that
those.
like?
Like, I watch too many horror movies just to walk willingly into the woods in the cabin. Like, I just be like, that be my luck. That be the day, like, the moon is full or wherever happens. God be like, yeah, bitch, I'm going to get you. Like, I don't.
I feel you though.
But you know what's crazy? I lived in Newark, and like going from like living in the suburbs where the worst thing I had to worry about was a horse getting out, like my neighbor's horse getting out in our yard, and then going to Newark.
Holla.
After that, I was like, I can do anything.
Now, I always said, like,
Welcome
New
to Brick
Jersey,
City.
the hood in New Jersey is more crazy than New York.
And you know why I agree with that? Only because the people from the hood, they literally will step on each other. Like, there's more
Yeah.
loyalty between people from, like, in New York. If you're from Brooklyn and you met somebody who else,
Fake loyalty, but it's
fake loyalty, but
there,
it's
yeah.
more than what we
Yeah.
got because
That's
you
worse
get
in
shot by the
Jersey,
same
yeah.
niggas you just smoking a blunt with in
That's
Newark.
right.
Oh, my God.
Dead ass.
That's outside New York. Once you leave New York, everything's up for grabs. You would get
Yeah.
shot for anything. Like, it's not a
right.
game. Like, I don't ever
Yeah.
like going. Like, my sister, I always said this before. When she first moved to Philadelphia, she was in North Philly. I remember the first time I'm going to visit her. Her house was like her apartment building was right there, and the two buildings next to her was like half was shot down. The other one just had garbage bags. But people lived there.
Yeah.
There was just garbage bags in the window, and I was just like, bitch, can't come visit you no more. And I was the day of her wedding, and I looked at her, I was like, yo, sis, I love you. I'm not coming back here till I move.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I
get
know
it,
we from the
though.
hood projects, but this ain't it.
It's
Right.
different.
This
Yeah.
ain't it.
And I've noticed that when I would meet different people from different hoods and they would talk about the camaraderie that they would have in their hood, I'm like, yo, that shit sounds amazing. Because we don't have that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, we don't have that in the hood in Jersey, bro. I'll just be like, damn.
I've always said the hoods outside of New York is really hood. It's a lot different.
It's
like
different. It's every man for himself, for real.
Like,
Yeah.
did y'all not see Jersey City, Jersey Drive?
Oh, yeah.
That's my movie, but them no loyalty. That whole
There's
crew
no
was
loyalty,
just.
bro. There's no loyalty.
I just know it's like you have like a hat on, like a hunter would wear. I feel.
I was thinking about
You're
that.
already
It says
like
Buffalo.
yeah, you're ready. Like,
Yeah.
to go on your first hunt.
I'm here for it.
I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Camouflage.
She might have
I'm
been
ready.
down for
I'm
you're
ready
ready.
for her to guide me into the woods, and I watch. And if you give me a gun, like I'm just gonna be like, bang, 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 bang.
Shooting random shit.
Mad birds out the sky and shit. Like,
Why are you shooting a leaf?
What's going on, lady?
But like, I have this weird fear of the woods. Like, I just think-
Really?
and that's why we're
Because
gonna go.
it's
So you
because
can
like
get over it.
the horror movies and stuff.
and I love horror movies too,
Yeah.
but the woods is
And you know,
like-
back in this day, they always say the woods is where the most wicked things would happen.
yeah, like pagan rituals, all types of
All
shit.
types of
like,
shit.
Yeah, have you seen Midsummer? Coco
I
walked out.
actually did
Right.
see it.
How'd you feel about it?
I saw the whole thing, and
A lot of psychedelics in that movie, huh?
everybody was crazy. They went in there and was fucking like. First of all, you're not gonna tell me to come to your community to see how y'all live, and on my second day, niggas is jumping off the cliff till they death at 76,
And that's normal.
and that was normal. I'm gone. It's just like, oh, I, at that point, I know I'm here to die.
Yeah.
Because you don't bring somebody to your community to witness something that heinous without them having plans to get rid of your ass.
You
So-
a sacrifice.
Like you,
basically.
yeah, like you're basically a sacrifice. So that movie was like, once I saw that, I was just like, so y'all just come. Nobody wants to go.
I think that was what's frustrated me. That's why I was like, I'm not doing this. I don't give a fuck if there's 20 minutes left in this
'Cause it was
goddamn
so
thing.
dumb.
This
Like-
shit is
and then you
bullshit.
have the
Y'all
one-
sat here all this time and this was cool. Fuck
And
this
It's not
shit.
realistic.
I watched it too.
It's not
I watched
realistic.
it the
I need
whole
this dumb
time.
shit.
Then you have the one black guy, and he's there doing his thesis. So in his head,
Oh,
he's just
he
like,
got
I'm
on my
here to-
damn nerves.
He really did. It was like, motherfucker, you is from the. If you don't get your ass out
You
of
fascinated by
Dodge-
this shit. Like, just the fact he kept saying how fascinated he was.
That would've
by
been
it.
me.
Like,
But
that
I
shit
get it too
pissed me
because
off.
on some level, I feel like that would have been me too. But hopefully, I would have been the hand.
You should have had perspective at some point. Like, at some
Michael,
point, you
did you
should have
see it all
realized
the way
what the
to
fuck's
the
going
end?
on. What?
Did you see all the way to the
No.
She walked out.
end?
guys.
I
was
walked
just
out
like-
20 minutes before the end.
Did she just become one with the earth, or did she stay within the community?
I
Because
didn't
it was
see it.
it was a very like if you like Hereditary, you're not gonna like Midsummer. You're
I think I
gonna
need to
find
see it. It sounds disturbing.
I read about
like
it.
disturbing.
I read about it.
Huh?
I don't like it. I don't like it.
You gotta.
We're
give
gonna
it
watch
another
it as a
chance.
family.
I have a
I'm not
question.
We're gonna get
that
high
whole
as
shit.
shit.
I have a
Okay,
question
just-
for
I'm saying,
everybody.
it was
20 minutes.
interesting.
I have a question. Did anybody see The Joker?
Yes.
I'm wanting
Yeah, I
to
saw it
see
on
I
my
loved
birthday.
it. How did you feel
Yeah.
about it?
Okay, so
Don't spoil it, goddammit.
Yeah, just tell me how you felt
There's
about it.
like
Yeah.
a big uproar about
There's
it
a
within the
huge
black
uproar
community.
about it.
Joker
the whole
is the
woke thing,
best.
and black people think it's like a big shit about
And
it.
there's a big thing about people
Really?
saying it was very triggery for people who have mental
y'all sensitive
illnesses.
as fuck. Joker is the best
Who's
origin
sensitive?
story.
I think that was the
The
best
ones who are
origin
getting
story
triggered
too.
about like I feel like this movie is actually a perfect reflection of how someone could become in America if they don't get the proper help they receive.
But I can
And-
see
Yep.
why you can get triggered. I can see why people would get triggered from because they're again mental health is a big spectrum.
And I think that's
So
everyone.
you have people like if you have somebody who on the spectrum of like absolute delusionment, they're like bipolar schizophrenic, they will be triggered by this movie. I feel
That's
like.
true.
But if you're getting triggered to the point where you walk out the movie and you won't even acknowledge it, that's like that's the same as ignoring what's going on in
Bipolar
America.
schizophrenic.
It depends on the individual.
Yeah, I think
you know what I'm
it
saying? Because
depends
some
on-
people can't
Yeah,
handle
it depends
it.
on
Yeah.
the level of
It might bring
the
a
mental
bad.
health
Yeah,
illness.
it might
And some
really
people
bring.
just aren't that open to it either.
That's true too. Because it
'Cause,
was
like,
very disturbing.
Yeah, because
It
when I was
loved
watching it, I was
loved
like,
it.
this is literally the embodiment of depression. Because I love how they basically painted it as to like he almost couldn't help who he became.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
you cut off he was having like public aid and you
Yeah.
cut off his medication. And it's like, okay, well, what exactly do you expect?
Right.
You know? And like looking at it from like, because we were watching it and when he's sitting on the bus, I was like, dang, like I felt it. Like I felt it. When he was looking at the stairs, I'm like, yo, like I felt that before. Like that level of depression where it's like you have to keep going even though you don't want to.
Yeah.
Like it was deep.
It hits home. And
Yeah.
I think that's probably why I also liked it because I could relate to it.
Yeah.
It was extremely relatable. And what I loved is how the sense of humor that the writers had for Joker.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, yo, like,
So
it was so
funny.
disturbing. But it's like you have to have a dark sense of comedy to really understand it and see it. And it's just like, I loved it. I thought it was so artistic. I felt that it also really reflected how society treats mental
people
health,
like that.
mentally ill people, and how they're not taken seriously enough, you know, especially those who don't have the finances to get help, you know?
But you know, I will say too, I feel like there was a little bit of an agenda. Just because, have you noticed now with the protests, people are starting to paint Joker faces on themselves, like when they're protesting Trump and stuff. I noticed that in the news, and I was like, I see what y'all did.
Yeah, and the news is trying to be like trying to paint like, or try to, I guess, incite violence in movie theaters that Jokers are showing. Like, and it's like trying to be like, I guess they're putting cops in theaters for Joker.
Well, that was because of the shooting a few years ago in the Batman.
But it seems like a little bit more sauce on it for this
Not for
one.
nothing. I feel like we should have at least one cop in a movie theater because of the shooting that happened when Batman happened. It's just like stuff like that. You don't really get it out the back of your head. Like, even when you go to movies today, you kind of have, especially if you open a movie night, you have this sense of like, am I going to be okay? And then I think my aunt was telling me years ago, like when she went to go see, she doesn't go to movie theaters at all unless it's the matinee, because she said when she went out night years ago when Scarface came out, it was a big shootout. But people don't talk about the things that, because sometimes it doesn't happen always inside the movie theater. Sometimes it happens when you leave the movie theater.
People get riled up and they're on, you know,
emotions are high. Cause when you see a good movie, everybody has an opinion about it. That's all you want to do is talk about the movie.
Right.
Yeah. That's a fact.
But Danielle, before we got started started the show, you were talking about what I actually wrote it down: blue light addiction and how it relates
that was
to,
so interesting.
So we were talking about EMF, so electromagnetic frequencies, and I was listening to a podcast by his doctor. I'm terrible with names, but he basically was saying he predicted back in the 70s because when you have like when blue light was introduced in the 90s, we saw an increase of mass shootings, especially in America. And what blue light does is it disrupts your natural dopamine system, and it gives you a dose of dopamine. That's why it's so addictive to be on your phone or like on a video game, because blue light is not natural. It triggers your brain and it triggers dopamine. And when you have that, it creates like an oversensitivity to your dopamine receptors in your brain. And when you look,
balance it all out.
But you know what's crazy? When you look at like the profiles of the kids that have done like mass shootings in America, they all have like ADHD. They were all like video game players, like avid video game players. And he makes the connection because it does disrupt and it messes with your thyroid hormones, and it causes depression. It enhances depression to the point where, you know, they're like, okay, well, I think I want to go shoot my school, you know, they do these things. And he was talking about how like the 5G rollout is going to affect people, and how we're going to see an increase of mass shootings in like random places like the mall, like we saw a couple weeks ago, and in like movie theaters, because you have, you know, all these people with their cell phones and they're emitting these frequencies, and it triggers in your brain because your dopamine.
It's funny you said that. I heard 5G was going to be the one that kill us all.
We just literally had that conversation before we came in.
Yeah, yeah, because what happens, especially on airplanes, you're going to be flying through the 5G signal. So you're going to see more people that have like random heart attacks or like randomly just freak out on planes.
Oh, bitch, I can't fly. I do too many drugs to fly.
I definitely popped a Xan when I had to go to California.
Like,
that was the first time I ever had one.
I pop a Xan or something. I can't fly.
Yeah, I train my body. Like as soon as I get on a plane, I knock out, because you know
But I knock out after I pop a Xan. You know, you pop the Xan and I take a shot and I'm gone.
Yes, I'm gone.
But you know what's crazy? Now
I'm gonna die.
I didn't know before, but they actually pump pesticides on planes. Have you ever seen a fly on a plane? Ever.
That's
funny that you said that.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Because if you Google it, there's a list of like certified pesticides that can be pumped through the plane, and you know that's already recycled air. Because I noticed I was flying a lot because my sister works for the airlines, and I would fly for free. So I was like ripping and running, right? But I noticed after I got off the plane, I felt like just down, like I felt really heavy. And I looked it up, and it's like, yeah, you have pesticides disrupt your hormones.
Fucking jet lag. It's pesticides.
Yeah. Wow. That's funny you said that, because 2 years ago I was on a flight and I was coming from, it was somewhere like not that far, like from Florida. Was it Florida? I could be bugging. I think it was Cali. Anyway, It was a late night flight, and they turned the lights real low. But then all of a sudden, as we were in the air, you saw a mist coming out of the vents, and it was a visible mist. And I've flown, from when I was young, I've flown quite a few times, so I didn't recognize. I'm like, what the fuck is that new? Like, what? It doesn't smell or anything like that. But I remembered you just describing that after that flight, I felt like I was jet lagged. And I'm coming from fucking Florida. I'm not flying across the country. It wasn't a red eye.
Right.
So that just now, that's what made me remember that. Like, I remember I was with somebody. We were like, that shit looks crazy. What the fuck is that? But we didn't think it was anything as scary as a pesticide to even have to ask somebody. We thought it was like oxygen, pumping in extra oxygen for whatever the fuck reason. You don't think or associate, So now I'm like, God damn it. I knew that was something wrong.
I never thought about that.
Yeah. Because like you said, to come from Florida, I remember my first flight to Florida, I was so exhausted and tired of the plane. I'm just like, and they kept saying jet lag, but I'm like, but there's not a change of
there's no time zone change.
Right.
So why am I jet lag? Like when I went from New York to Cali, I didn't experience no jet lag until I got back home.
Yeah.
I thought it was just because like our bodies because we don't fly as often, like the altitude, how high up we are, like maybe does something to our bodies. But
and then they say it's dehydrating and all that shit. It's fucking you're being pumped.
Yeah, I go on the plane and I start drinking.
There's tons of things that happen to you when you fly, and it's like
travel back.
Do you feel safer in the wilderness?
Absolutely, because like I said, like when we were talking before the show, the further you get from where we are naturally supposed to be as human beings, we're supposed to be barefoot, running around, no clothes, in the sun all the time. Absolutely. And, not in buildings or working 9 to 5 or sitting for long periods of time.
The further artificial lighting. And
exactly.
Shit like that.
The further we get from that, the more sick we will become.
When you go make your, your house in the woods, hire me. I'll be your nanny, maid, chef, cook.
I'll be security.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll make the cupcakes.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm interested in the cheese plate too.
Okay, good.
We got a wood gatherer. We've got a wood gatherer.
I mean, all those muscles, he better fucking chop some.
Right.
Yo, I'm out here.
That
wood cutter.
We got to get you a plaid shirt.
I got plenty
of plaid from Jersey.
I forgot who I was talking to.
Coco, I heard that.
I know you.
You're right there, but I hear
from
you.
Jersey too.
Okay.
Shit.
I ain't tripping.
You ain't that far from me. I can hear everything you're saying.
But doesn't the Jersey Woods? Is it the Jersey Woods or the Pennsylvania Woods who have like that devil's circle?
I think that's.
You want to find out?
Is that Pennsylvania?
I feel like that's Pennsylvania.
Okay, it's like
I feel like that would be Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's like
why y'all feel that?
I just feel like
That's just a feeling. I don't know why.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be in Jersey because we're from there.
He would be the one to go into the haunted house. Like, let's do this, guys.
Yeah.
And everybody's dead at the end of the movie because Jeff is just like no. I'm gonna be the one in the front of the door, like, oh, y'all niggas have fun.
But you don't think I would like come back at the end of the movie and be like the key to saving you all? Like,
no.
I would disappear from the entire movie. And
You ever saw that movie Ghost Hunters on Netflix? It was like years ago, like when Netflix was like really popping.
No,
I don't think I saw
It was a TV show, Ghost Hunters.
I remember that
it was like
show.
It turned into like it was a movie that never came out, and it was only like I think on Netflix. It was like VHS.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
those who don't know, that's tape. That's before DVD.
No, when I say like VHS, I mean like the movie VHS, the horror movie VHS on
I love
Netflix.
that shit.
So it was like a movie like that.
It shows like all the footage of people, stories and shit.
So this one was like, it was called Ghost Hunters, and it was like this team of crew, like us. They went to this hospital to film, and as soon as you like walk up to the door, it says you are now entering hell.
Oh shit!
But it's just everybody's like, ha ha, he he. When I saw that, I was just like, and niggas still went in there. But it reminds me of what you just like. You would be the type of the guy in a movie who goes straight in there, like, yeah, I got my camera. No, I have to finish the show, and the building's gonna like the devil's gonna like the building's gonna be all in your head, like, yeah, finish the show. And you're gonna be the only survivor because you're gonna keep the curse alive.
No, not okay.
And then you're gonna bring a new crew for the sequel.
I'm aware enough to know.
That's how it happened. Like, no lie.
I'm aware enough to know when shit ain't right. So like, I would get my shot.
But no, I'm trying to say the guy was so like he needed that. You heard me, right? Heard me? You're not from New York. He needed that extra flair. He needed that. He wanted the extra motivation. So whatever the builder was like, yeah, just keep shooting. Like he was in there eating rats and shit. Like this shit was crazy.
But I think I would be the key to everyone's survival at the end of the movie.
No, we're gonna die.
No.
CR,
what is your take on this?
CR's gonna save us.
CR,
you think so?
No,
Oh,
CR.
that means so much.
But what do you think my
It's
contribution
between CR
to
and Coco, honestly.
I feel like
empaths.
I
would
think
stick
me and
with
Coco would
Coco.
team up to save everybody.
But who would
We
get
the
us
two
killed?
empaths. Remember, I'm the witch of the group. Y'all
You
the
would get us killed the
empaths.
fastest because you would
I don't think
attract
she would get
that.
us killed.
The ghost.
No, I'm not going in the building.
I was about to say, I feel like Lainey would be the one to warn us about shit that we don't see.
Crazy, like, nope, time to go.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
I'm not going in that.
I'm not going in that.
We're going in.
Honestly, I would just stick with the women.
You don't trust the guys?
No offense, just women just have better intuition.
We
Like,
be like,
That's a
don't
fact.
do that.
yeah.
They be like, hold on, let me.
I listen
hold
to
on, let me
women,
listen
so I'm
to
a
their
survive.
intuition.
I
Yeah.
listen to women, so I'm a survive.
But I'm naturally. Come on. Come on, bro. But like, I am naturally inquisitive, so like, yeah, I feel like I'll be the one to be like, yeah, it's fine. Then you gonna hear
You
me
in denial,
scream.
brother.
No, funny story. 2 weeks ago, I went to the forest, not the forest, but Forest Hills Park in Queens. I live in Queens.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on the phone with my sister. She's like, what you doing in the park? I said, I brought my camera and took some pictures. I'm like, girl, these woods is deep. And she's like, bitch, you don't learn nothing, do you? I'm like, yeah, I'm seeing. And when I tell you, I was seeing like all these little different markers and gravers in the trees. I'm like, yo, this shit is wicked. Like, she's like, Helena, get out the fucking woods. And I'm just like, yo, I'm grown. I'm 33. Like, leave me alone. Like, don't tell me to get out the woods. Like, I know you're my older sister. And then I'm walking further and I just see like this guy walking towards. I'm like, yeah, sister, you told me to get out the woods. Hey, I just started talking louder. I'm like, yeah, I'm out the woods, girl. So I just started walking along the path because I was going like deeper and deeper. And I kept telling myself like, Helena, why are you going so deep? I'm just like, yo, now I know how people get caught up in
Something
the
was
movies.
luring you
Yeah.
into that fucking
No,
woods.
I'm gonna go back because it's like a few years ago. Like I went there with my wife like a long time ago. We went after a bar. We met this white chick, and she was about I wanted weed that night because my guy wasn't around. It was like years ago when you was still buying quarters and shit for 25 regular green. You can't get that shit no more.
No.
And she was just, oh yeah, I got my own farm, little white girl. And I'm like, okay, let me, we went to her house to go get through. She's like, let's go smoke in the park. So we get to the park and she's like leading us. And my wife was just like, let's go now. Like, I don't want, like, she caught the mean black girl attitude. Just like, later on, I was like, bitch, I'm happy you did that because who knows where she was leading us. My ass just wanted to smoke. And she was just like, yeah, come. Because when I went back to the park a few weeks ago, I was like, yo, this park has a very, it does. It really does. Like, I feel like a lot of people died there. You just don't know.
That was another time you was being lured.
I want to
She
go
was
there.
trying to lure you somewhere.
That's funny because I used to smoke in the woods in Roselle, me and my friends. But it wasn't deep in the woods. It was like behind the Catholic hii school.
I want to go to
Don't do
these
shit
roads.
around the
Worst place.
Catholics.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's the worst place to go.
But it was like a trail. People walked their dogs back there. And then, we were one with nature, trying to
It's
get away
cool,
from the
though.
artificial life that society has created.
Fuck
We
that.
should all do mushrooms and go in the woods.
Yes, but
I'm afraid to try.
I'll do some shrooms. I'm
I'm
not going in no
afraid.
motherfucking woods.
if
I'm
you're
afraid.
afraid,
I'm
you shouldn't do
unpredictable
anything
already. So on
psychedelic.
shrooms,
That's what I'm saying.
If
I
you're
don't.
afraid, you're not ready.
I don't think I'm ready for psychedelics. I think that I'll really have a bad trip.
I'm not ready for LSD psychedelics.
That shit,
I think that's a little bit much, but I'm ready for
That was bad.
a little piece of a shroom,
Maybe a small dosage.
a small dosage just to fill me out.
I can get it.
Chase it with a blunt, a dab.
I can get it. Let me know.
Yo, lady.
But yeah, the first time
Funny
I
as
ever
hell.
got really high was in the woods, and like I started seeing shit,
Oh Lord.
and I saw like Tarzan with like
You
gray
smoke a
hair.
weed?
What?
You smoke a weed?
Yeah, I was smoking weed. I think it was high school, so I don't know, but shit, it might have been something else. Damn, I didn't think about that. But I started seeing shit.
Who was you
like,
smoking with?
I was peer
Those
pressure into
wasn't your
smoking weed.
friends.
I was peer pressure. Yeah, they weren't my friends. I was peer pressure.
Oh, you was definitely smoking something else then.
I don't think so.
When I smoked in the woods with one of my boys, and I know
Smell
I
like
wasn't
it.
tripping. We both saw a bobcat chasing a deer.
I saw something like that.
wow.
I'm
You're
serious.
from Jersey, I believe.
I'm
You're
serious.
the guy in the horror movie that's high. You're the guy from what's that movie? Cabin in the Woods, the stoner, the whole story. Just be like, yeah, girl. That's gonna be you and Coco. She gonna be the virgin.
The version.
You ever saw that movie?
Which one?
Cabin in the Woods?
No, I ain't watched that shit. That
That
shit
shit-
looked
Oh,
like it was scary.
it
I
was
didn't watch
cute.
that shit.
I would be the guy getting killed by fucking like I'll be like
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
like yeah.
for that one.
word.
Yes.
A big round of applause for
You
that one
found your
because
role,
that's exactly
Jack.
what the fuck you do.
The Petty Podcast.
Hollywood, I'm out here.
Thought
Perfect
I can
casting
drive
there, Jeff.
over the cliff. Like, no, we can get out of this. And I got electrocuted. Like, no,
Oh,
this is all an illusion.
I agree with that.
You ever
That's
saw
funny
what
as
was it?
fuck.
Scream? Or like
That's Nev Campbell right there.
I watched all the Scream
like the
movies.
girl thought the guy was role playing and shit, and it was really the dude. Yeah, he killed her.
What? That was Scream 1?
Yeah,
Scream one
something
was
like one of
good.
those.
So many Scream. Scream was
Scream
I
one,
love
the original
a good
was
horror
good.
movie.
Yeah, those were some
The
good
original was
sequels,
good.
though.
You do, but you're scaring yourself. Like, it's like you're like freaked out by like everything now.
So no,
Saw.
Well,
Saw was
years
good.
ago I couldn't even sleep after seeing. I think when I first saw Insidious, I couldn't sleep for 2 months.
For 2 months?
I never saw it first in City.
Did I say
Couldn't
thought I
sleep.
saw Insidious? I think I did.
Because demon movies is my trigger.
And I was going to
So,
say, I could imagine.
If it's a
yeah.
demon movie, it's just
Because
it
there's some
takes me-
realistic-
Yeah, it
there's
takes
some
me a
real
little
behind
bit
it.
further.
Yeah.
But if it's like
Some bullshit, made up
it'd be
shit.
like, ah, ha,
Serial
ha.
killer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit. But if it's a demon movie, I'm just like, you know what? You ever saw Clown?
Clown.
When the
fucking no
guy,
clown.
You
the
mean
father
It?
puts on
Oh.
it's a movie called Clown. When the father puts on the clown suit, and then he found the clown. His son wanted a clown for his birthday, but he forgot to rent a clown, so he found some clown suit in an old house or something. So he puts it on, but he can't take the suit off.
Oh my god.
Wow.
So he slowly starts becoming the clown. And how they describe clowns in that movie was, ancient years ago, clowns weren't what you see. They was demonic beings. They weren't like to make. They gave the appearance they gave the appearance of
Friendliness.
friendliness, but only to take your children's
seduce-
soul. Yeah, in a sense. So I thought that was a pretty dope movie.
And
Everybody check it out.
I think that's a great background story for clowns because, I mean, we celebrate clowns in
And
society.
you don't really know
You
where
gotta
the
look
origin
things
is.
up.
Not
You
even
gotta
think
look
about
up
the origin of
because
it.
a lot of
Yeah.
these things are based in those,
Like fairy
occultish
tales.
things.
The original thing of fairy tales, there are no happy endings in
The
these
Grimm
fairy
brothers.
tales.
Did you
Yeah.
get eaten
Everybody,
at the
everybody
end and
gets
shit?
raped.
Mhm.
Everybody
Yeah.
like
Disney gave you that
crazy.
spin of like, oh, a beautiful fairy tale, but a real fairy tale is a lesson, a bloody
You
lesson.
know what the
for
real
some.
scariest movies are? Final Destination. Like I remember they were at a fucking racetrack or some shit, and then the fucking car got into the fucking crowd.
But
and
I love how
exploded.
that's the one horror series that they tied up perfectly.
That's true. They did.
Like
they did.
tied
The last
shit up.
one
That last
connected
one
to the first one.
Yeah.
They wrote
They
that
tied that
perfectly.
shit up
They
perfectly.
did. They really
I'm
did.
Saw,
scared.
I feel like Saw. I can find holes in Saw. I can find holes in.
But I like the
I'm not-
goriness of it.
Yeah.
The last,
goriness
I think the last Saw kind of made me laugh. Like it was like so unrealistic. Like how he
after a
he
while-
At
woke
that point,
up.
I'm also into soap
he wo-
operas, so at that point it was like, all right, keep going.
And
Just
then,
keep going. Keep going
and then
at
the
that point,
theme
yeah.
music behind it, like it was funny. Like that's the thing about scary things; they make me laugh. Like scary, like horror films, like haunted houses, like they make me laugh. That's why I feel like I don't know. I have like a I don't know.
But
Dark
me and
side.
you spoke about it. You're very different. We spoke about this before. What you were here to do.
There's this
Well, yeah, we did speak about
this like haunted like house thing like somewhere in the Midwest where like you have to actually sign a waiver. You have to take a physical.
I just heard about that.
You have
What
to like do
telling
all
me
this shit
about?
before you even get inside, and I want to
Yeah.
go to that shit.
Where
It's somewhere in the Midwest. I don't know. I
me
heard it
know
on
how
a
it
podcast.
is.
I went
But
to.
you win like 20,000 if you complete it, right?
Yeah, and like
Wow.
like no one's like ever completed it. It's like,
Is that scary?
Yeah, it's like so
Yeah.
mentally traumatizing. and shit.
yeah.
I'm with it. You could survive that. You
Absolutely not. I don't
So
do
y'all
like
survive.
so.
I think I would.
So
I think I
you
would.
want
the
to fight
pa-
a bear? Come
no,
on.
no, but like the last 10 minutes when you guys are talking about movies, one, I don't watch movies. Two, I do not watch scary movies at all.
Girl, come watch a scary movie.
Yeah,
I like
I'm not
scary
about that life.
things.
Have you seen The
Why?
Revenant?
Because I don't like being scared. I'm like in my mind, I'm like I don't want to pay to be scared. I don't.
It's
like
an
being
adrenaline
I
rush.
understand.
I don't get- I don't get, like, the
being
adrenaline
scared, but I like
rush.
being. It's like that's my rush. I don't like being scared, but I love being scared.
Yeah, I don't get that
Yeah,
adrenaline rush.
I
I'm
get
just
that
like, okay, I
adrenaline.
can't sleep for 10
Coco will
years.
tell you we'll
like,
watch a horror movie together. It's just like I love when oh shit, like I'll be jumping at the weirdest shit.
I love just being shocked. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when you're still in shock, like 10 minutes. It's
I just love being
another scene,
shocked.
You still in shock of what the fuck
Yeah.
happened before.
Do you
Like
talk during
Hereditary
movies?
when the fucking
Yeah.
head came. I was just
Oh,
like,
that was
yes.
fabulous.
God.
She started cutting off
You
her
do?
head. Oh, I was there for it. Loved it.
Oh, do
Loved it.
you talk during movies? I feel like you like have conversations like.
Do I
what-
talk during movies?
Yeah, we talked to her.
Yeah, we do.
I can't
But we be
watch
smoking
shit.
during the movie, so that's why it be
Oh.
commentary.
I find it odd when
Peanut
I'm with somebody
gallery.
that don't talk through the goddamn
For
movie.
real.
Like, where's the commentary?
And do not see
You
a
gonna miss
movie
something.
and I ain't watch it because I'm gonna be like, so what the fuck happened? Because in my head,
I'm gonna show y'all one of my
if
favorite
I
movies.
don't
that'll
have the
freak you
movie,
out.
what was we watching? And
I don't
thought,
remember because we.
And I
forgot
thought
what
I
we
had
watched.
the movie figured out, and I was just like, oh, it's the.
It was at that show. I
It was some shit we was watching.
The
I thought I,
Miriam. Was it Miriam?
was it Indian people? It was something.
Indian people.
Any people scared?
No, it was some shit. But I thought I had it all figured out with the
asking.
wife and the husband. Something was like some kind of scheme going on.
It wasn't Hereditary.
It wasn't her. It was something we just recently watched it.
Oh, I don't remember.
And
I'm
I
about
thought
to-
I had it all figured out, and
And
then
they
it
gave you the
was
twist at the
it was
end.
the complete. It was the one with the spy shit and the wife. Oh, the boat movie. The Netflix shit with
Oh,
Adam
oh,
Sandler.
Oh, with Adam Sandler?
And
yes.
yes.
Yeah.
I know what
figured
you're
that
talking
one
about.
out.
That was
though.
a
That's
good
why I didn't
movie.
even guess
had
because that one was
shit.
funny.
That was a
I
good
thought I
movie.
had it all figured out like 10 minutes. I'm like, Coco, this was happening. And she's just like, yeah, bitch, all right. And we smoking. And then I said, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I ain't think that what it was.
I
But-
figured it out like right at the last scene.
So you knew it was her. Yeah, at the last
because
scene.
they explained everybody but her. That was the only reason.
Because I swore it was the Chinese lady and the ex still fucking if they did all this. But then when they killed the Chinese lady, I said, well, there goes my theory.
Right.
We're about to have a movie night because I'm about to show y'all some shit that's gonna fuck you up for life.
What movie is that? I see some real
No, it's like a
fucking
lot of shit. Like I can't get into it because we got like maybe 3 minutes left. But
2 minutes.
Is it the
2
porno
minutes.
movie with the guy with the wife?
We
and
gonna
the,
talk. And you gonna see it.
He be
fucked his
swearing
son
he
at
be
the
trying
end.
to shock people, and people
Then
be
he
like,
fucked his son
okay.
at the end, and then him and his wife
No,
did
but
the
you.
double suicide.
No, but I'm letting you know
I've
that.
seen some real crazy shit.
Cool.
Like,
Was that filmed in a different country?
Yeah.
No, okay. Now that makes sense.
that
Cool.
shit was.
Because movies from other
Crazy.
countries be so fucking crazy.
Yeah, like
crazy.
What's
Oh,
that shit called?
That shit with the
Their
guy with
ethical
the porn
regulations
star.
do not exist.
There's like this one movie I
With the
saw
porn
just straight
star
on
and the
cannibalism
wife
and
the
shit. It's
kid.
crazy. It was dope though. You're awesome.
Told you.
Oh, thank you.
You are awesome, yes.
Totally.
I love
Bro,
every
I learned
single
so
one.
much today.
Episode.
I told y'all.
I want to go to the woods, but it has to be with her. I'm not.
Yeah.
going
I have a new
without-
respect for hunting. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really shed a light on hunting today. Like I kind of want to get involved and do it, especially if I could like take the meat and bring it home and cook it.
Holla.
But I respect your hustle. Like that's dope.
Yeah, we're gonna have to learn eventually. So I think this
And the
is
fact
a
that you're
crucial
open
time.
about your DV, you expressed that with us, and then you know, I'm happy that you overcame that,
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
and it made you be this fearless woman, badass bitch that
who
you
fucking
are now.
hunts
Yeah, who hunts
with
Part of the
bows
journey,
and
right?
arrows?
Bow
For
and
fuck's sake.
arrow.
So we have like 2 segments now. One that Lainey introduced called "Hey Bitch Hey," which is fucking perfect.
And I got one for that.
And we also have "Don't Sleep." But you heard the show, so you familiar with them?
Yes.
So which one should we do today? Hey Bitch Hey or Don't Sleep? Because I got both.
I thought I was going to do both.
Let's do
You gonna do
both.
both?
Let's knock it
All right,
out
somebody else
real
go
quick.
first.
I got a hey bitch hey.
Go ahead.
Hey bitch hey. To all the pedestrians out there that want to cross the street without fucking looking.
Oh my God.
All right? My car weighs 2 tons. All right? You will die. Fucking pay attention. I hate that shit. All right? As far as don't sleep on Kevin Gates' new album.
What?
That shit is fire.
Yo, I just discovered Kevin Gates, like, but I've heard of him before, but I just listened to this shit, like, for the past 3 weeks, and he makes me into the most ultimate, like,
Ratchet.
I find it's not even ratchet, 'cause that's a real bitch. Like, Drika, shout out to you, bitch, for even handling with a motherfucker like that, 'cause I couldn't deal with a nigga like Kevin Gates. That motherfucker. But Drika, you a real one, girl. I love you.
Hey bitch hey. It's wintertime. It's getting colder out. I know people getting sick, but that's no excuse for you to not cover your mouth when you cough, sneeze, or yawn. You motherfuckers in my office that I work with are the nastiest people I've ever encountered in my entire life.
hope they don't
So
listen.
cover your fucking mouth when you cough, sneeze, or yawn.
Tomorrow they're going to be like,
And the irony is that they're pharmacists.
This is
Dang.
nasty.
I hope you told him that shit. I hope you told him that shit. Did you tell him that shit?
I just moved my seat.
are
No,
they,
no,
they
you
have
need
a
to-
different persuasion?
You need to
they
reinforce.
They
like-
look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm looking
No,
at them
like
like
you the only person of color or something.
I'm one of the few. Like
Are
a
they
handful.
of color?
They're like Filipino and white.
They don't cover nothing.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Niggas be stinking. So.
Next.
God.
Next. Who's next?
Hey bitch hey. I don't got a hey bitch hey. And
Just like,
Don't
because
sleep.
it's gonna be the same thing that I always say when you're walking down the goddamn street. If you have to fucking stop, move out the way. This is a fucking populated ass city. Like you're not the only one walking down the street. This is my same complaint. So yeah. All right, I'm just gonna say it every time. What was the other one?
Don't sleep.
Don't sleep. Fuck, I like to sleep. I don't know what to tell you. I'm tired right now. Goddamn it.
sleep on
It's
that
been a
one.
long motherfucking day.
Don't sleep
so
on
get
that.
some sleep. Okay.
Don't sleep on that
That's
that
it.
Wale album or that Summer Walker album.
I got to listen to that Summer
Yes.
Walk album.
Summer Walker.
Nobody will agree with me.
Oh
Nobody
my
will agree with me,
goodness.
but I don't care. I love the Little Kim album.
Oh, yeah, she did
Don't
top
at
album.
hey, bitch, hey. I think we just like saying hey, bitch, hey around.
That's really what it is.
You started it.
But I thought I had a hey, bitch, hey. Oh, yeah, hey, bitch, hey for me this week is shut the fuck up and listen, people. I had to learn that lesson like 2 weeks ago. Sometimes it's okay to shut the fuck up and listen. Like, I have this need to always be right because, one, I am always fucking right. But 2, I'm right. But I need to learn how to shut the fuck up and not put my rightness on you wrong motherfuckers. I can't help that y'all wrong. So, hey, bitch, hey, shut the fuck up and listen. And then when you see a dumb motherfucker talking, just be like, hey, bitch, hey.
There you go. I love Lynise.
I just have a don't sleep. Don't sleep on your body's health, because the things that you eat become you, and that affects your mental health.
The things you consume become you.
Where can people find you if they want to follow you and possibly get into hunting as well through you?
Yeah, so I have a blog. It's daniellelynise.com. I also have Instagram, and it's beautiful_nomad.
Or CR, shout out your
Very
shit.
soothing.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for one of the greatest showcases that will be going down in the tri-state area. That's going down next week, November 2nd, at the Movement Space in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Please follow me on Instagram, CR_908.
Yeah. And I
Bring
think,
your A game, because me and Coco and Jeff is fucking judging this bitch.
and I'm going to be drunk as
Okay.
fuck, and I'm going to be shitting on all you motherfuckers that are whack, and I'm going to tell you to your face, and if they want to fight,
Jeff, don't embarrass
I'ma
me,
leave.
okay? I'm
Thank
gonna
God
tell you right
for
now.
'Cause I don't
me
wanna
and
fight.
Coco,
Don't
who
fucking embarrass
actually
me, okay?
love the hip hop and the music, and we're there just to give y'all some real solid advice. I don't think anybody's whack.
yeah, I'm not going to
okay?
shit on anybody. I'm joking.
Yeah, right.
But 2 weeks after that, I think it's like 2
He's
weeks.
gonna shit on
gonna
everybody.
shit on
Let y'all know
everybody.
right there. But if you like me, you see me, bring me some chicken wings.
Me too.
Me too. Shit. Shit. Hop in my DMs too. Like, just let me know you coming. And like, I think like 2 weeks after that is our first live show, right? It's like 2 weeks.
Yes.
November 16th.
November 16th. That's just going to be a fucking movie.
Here.
Bring me some chicken wings then too.
Yes.
And
yes.
CR as well.
Yes. No, fuck that. Yeah, our first live show is November 16th at 1 p.m. here at Gotham Podcast Studio. Tickets are available on eventbrite.com if you just type in Introverted Intuition. Obviously, it's one of the first links open because Introverted Intuition is very unique, and the name hasn't been taken yet. Yeah, so come through. We'll do a little giveaway type thing, and we'll talk mental health because that's what we care
Shout
about.
out Danielle. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, thank you. And if you enjoyed this episode, wherever you're listening at, please utilize the rating system because that definitely helps and helps us want to keep going. If you're interested in coming on the show as a guest and sharing your story, email us at introvertedpod@yahoo.com. And yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Bring us chicken.
Let's go smoke.
Bring us chicken.
Yeah, do drugs, no hugs.
That's right.
So I'm coming over a cold.